And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition here of the Sparkling Tuna Cup, the SDC, your weekly dose of cranky duckling action. Let's go. I'm of course JSI VIP with you, joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all, exclamation mark, be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, and we are jumping into the round of 16. We're jumping into our initial ZVP, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the red Zerg player. It is Young Yakov. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the teal Protoss. It is a Triple. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as you can get your gamba going as we jump into our first matchup of the broadcast. Again, welcome one and all to our second broadcast of the day. We were live earlier this morning with the KSL, with the Korean StarCraft League. It was a lot of fun, was also a very intense day of StarCraft already here. This morning we had KSL, this morning we had Stellarfest, the finals of Stellarfest, might I add. We'll be going over all those results later on in the week during the podcast, but now we're here with the Sparkling Tuna Cup. Again, this is our weekly open tournament, weekly open cup. Think of it like a Wardy TV Monday or a Pigstore Cup or a Monday Night Weekly, our own open tournament as well, featuring top players from Europe and top players from South Korea as well. I mean, from all over, from all around the world. Again, do recommend checking out the bracket. We'll be going into the bracket ourselves after this series. First things first, we have our initial opener, Hatch Gas Pool, standard start at a Young Yakov, Triple going for a gate expand into Cybercore. Everything so far is looking as it should be. So far it's looking normal, looking standard. Also, if you want to help support us and help support this tournament series, I mean, hey, it's Tuna Cup 112, by the way. I mean, we've been running this event for a very long time, for many years at this point. Again, longer than any of the other open weekly tournaments. I think the only tournament that has been lasting longer than ours was maybe Legacy Weekly Japan. I think that's maybe the longest running weekly tournament. Maybe Sunrise Cup as well, maybe. But again, we've been running it for a long time. If you want to help support us, you can do so via Patreon. Patreon does help fund this tournament specifically. I mean, this tournament alongside the other events that we run as well, like Sea Ducking Open and Masters 1 Open, they are all funded via our Patreon, and they're all grown via our Patreon as well. We have specific milestones, stretch goals to be able to boost the prize pool, to grow the event even further from what we have now. And of course, a big thank you to all of our current patrons, to all of our current supporters. Without you, this event wouldn't be as big as it is, and it wouldn't attract as much attention as it does either. So thank you so much, Pappy. Thank you so much. So we get into our PVZ. So far, Triple does go for a Stargate open out of our Protoss player, going for his third base, going into what looks to be a standard setup for the time being. Triple, he's more of an up-and-coming, more of like a semi-professional player from the Korean scene. So we'll see how Triple does compare. We'll see how he's able to build up and how he approaches Yakov. Yakov, of course, he has been on fire as of late. If you were here this morning for KSL, I mean, one, I recommend the votes. Two, we actually casted Young Yakov in that tournament, and he did very well in that event, taking down Shameless and also going toe-to-toe with Classic. Like, he had a very impressive series versus Classic. I do recommend it. It was the semi-finals of the KSL. Do recommend the VODs, and as a result, I do lean towards Young Yakov when it comes to this matchup. We'll see what he brings to the table. We'll see if Triple can keep up. Yakov can be very aggressive, very assertive, very dynamic, and very fluid in his play as well. The drone does move forward, and it looks like it's not going to be Lair first. It is going to be Roach Warren first instead, as we have the money. As we had the money. Are we up? Oh, changing his mind. Did you see there for a moment? He did queue up the Roach Warren, he canceled the Roach Warren, and instead he starts up the Evo Chamber instead. Okay, you have my attention. Evo Chamber first does tell us it should most likely be plus on melee first instead, into a Ling heavy composition. He was thinking about Roach play, but has since decided to change his mind. I mean, he saw the timing of the third base, so he knows it is a standard opener. Twilight Council behind the initial wall here at the natural, alongside the Forge. Looks like plus on the blink. Let's go. See in the chat, was there no one to cast last night's Sea Ducking Open, or did I miss it? You may have missed it. The stream, I mean, if you were there for the initial event, The stream did go live a little bit late. Kura and Steelmod, I think they went live like maybe 30 minutes after the fact, but the event was still covered, the event was still casted, but they did go live a little bit later. So if you only showed up for like the initial opening kind of showtime and then headed off, then you might have missed it. But the VODs are available, the VODs are on Twitch, the VODs are on YouTube. SDO did take place and was casted. But again, I think they missed the first round. So I think they casted from the quarterfinals onwards. Quarterfinals. Good morning, Papi. Ah, buenos días, buenos días. Good morning, Papi. Good morning. Shema in the chat, Shema. As Oracles, they get across. Double Oracle here to force a cancel on the 4th base. They may be able to here. That's a lot of damage. Oof, there's a cancellation. There's a denial. Even sniping the drone. So nice pick off here out of triple. Behind this Yangyaka we spoke about +1 melee. There it is. Remember, he did skip his roach one, going melee into Banelings into Ling Bane Hydra. There we go, there's that Hydra then. So pretty standard setup here out of Young Yakov. Meanwhile, triple, he is likewise setting up, a standard opener into a much more tech-heavy follow-up here. Going double Robo, double Immortal, double Colossus production. Okay. Okay. You have my attention, Babby. Let's go. He's throwing down cannons, shield batteries, he's walling up, he's preparing here with, again, double Colossus, and that should be ideal against Ling Bane Hydra, at least defensively initially. We'll see what hits first. That's the real question. Who's going to hit first? As Young Yakov, he is going to tech up. Infestation bit, that tells us Hive tech, Lurker tech. We're taking up into something greater here. That should be the play for Young Yakov. Yep, as you can see, gases. Gas is being taken. He's taking all 8 gas geysers. That tells us it's going to be very gas intensive. Again, Lurker heavy. Icing run by. Takes in the cannon. Gets us around. A couple of probes are going to be falling here. Nice damage so far with the with the Lings. Getting even more depths before being cleaned up. As Lings, they do pull away. We spoke about it earlier. There it is. There's that Lurker den. Again, gas intensive for those Lurkers. And a couple of things here. So on the one hand, Young Yakov is droning up heavily, he's expanding heavily, and he's taking up heavily into Lurkers. So there's going to be a window in time where he has Lurkers and there isn't, for example, Sky Toss to worry about. But what he does have to worry about is Mass Colossus. Now Colossus, these are terrifying, and Colossus is going to be ideal against a Lair Tech army. But remember, Young Yakov is taking away the Hive, and Hive doesn't just entail Lurker upgrades, it entails Vipers. So Vipers are going to be on the way alongside this. So Ling Bane Hydra Lurker Viper is going to be a very successful, very aggressive, very potential composition here, favored composition against the more robo-heavy composition of his opponent. Meanwhile, going for the contamination on the bay. Let's go. So delayed extend double lance. Very nice contamination. And again, Triple is securing himself with all these Colossus and he'll be fine defensively, but remember, Young Yakov isn't pushing, Young Yakov is teching. He's running up to 91. That's a lot of drones. Taking more gas, Jesus. Getting up to 10 gas geysers. That's a lot of gas, baby. That's a lot of gas. Here we go, Vipers are on the way. Again, this kind of composition is very gas intensive. I mean, you can see that Young Yakov is already running out. So he's no. As Vipers are gathering energy. Do we have any High Templar? The answer is no. 0 Templar. And Tripoli moves in. He moves on to creep. The Lurkers are ready. The Lurkers are in position. Ooh, Queens are exposed. Uh-oh. Yeah, losing 1, 2, 3. Queen's going to be going down. A nice big loss here by Triple. And did Yakov notice? Oh, somewhat. Lings, they trigger 1. Did you hit the 4th? Lurker's going to be rotating 1. Both Oracles get sniped. Lings, they force back the army. They will delay. And how many Vipers? 2, I believe? Yes, 2. 2 Vipers. That should be enough. And here come the yoinks. Oh, gets one, gets 2. Takes down 2 of the Colossus. Gets a 3rd Colossus as well. Very nice. And there's 1 Colossus remaining. And here comes that abduction. Gets all 4. And this is what we spoke about here. Like, Colossus are nice and all, but because Young Yaku was going right into the Hive and right into Viper Tech, he would shut this down. Oh, I say that the Archons, they just barrel on through. Jesus. No detection. No detection. Otherwise, those would have been dead lurkers. They're moving in. Just barely. Catching out of their Archon. Getting the cannon as well. Oh. And lurkers are within range. They're within range here of the expansion. Spires on the way in case of Sky Toss. I mean, we know there is none. Vipers are regathering energy back at home, and the base has fallen. And you can see Triple just plummet in army supply. Just plummet. The Lunkers, they keep moving in. Observer has arrived. Can we snipe the Observer? Oh, no! He wants it. Ah, he gets it. Oh my god, just barely. Observer gets sniped. The Lunkers are still moving in. Do we get contamination? Oh, let's go! He gets 1. Contamination on the robo. Let's go. Let's go. As Yaku is pushing in, lunges forward. Triple going for the base trade. He knows he cannot fight. He cannot fight the lurkers head on. So the base trade is upon us. We leave 2 lurkers behind to snipe or to snipe the mineral line. And Yaku is racing back. He's racing all the way back. Mortals there moving in. Ooh, Zealous taken into the mineral line. Do we blinding cloud? We do. Da-da! Yeah, they're the blinding clouds. Hydras, they lunge forward. They're the abductions. Getting a sentry of all things. Let's go. And yes, he's using drones. We can see Zealous in the natural, Zealous in the 3rd base. We have Zealous in the main base as well. Drones are falling. But Yakov has an army and Triple does not. Triple, he lost his 3rd base, he lost his 4th base. Triple, he has a handful of Zealots, he has 1 Archon defensively back at home. There's not much to defend. Oh, there's recall. Ta-da! Recall gets wasted. And now here comes Yakov. Yakov. There's no expansion. I just need to do lunge forward. Oh my god, massive connection with the Archon. GG gets called. There's nothing left, and Young Yakov will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. With that, I should say Young Yaku does take lead in the series, and we'll see if Triple can bounce back. Again, Triple, his build wasn't bad at all. Like the going into his initial opener, into a 3rd base, into double robo wasn't bad. The problem was that it's a very tech-heavy start. Because of that, it takes a long time to really come online and push out across the map, and Young Yakov had a really nice reaction to tech up as greedily as he did. Remember, he rushed into the 4th base, rushed into 8 gases, took his 5th base, took 10 gases, teched up into Hive Tech with the infestation bit. For a long time there, Yakov was vulnerable. He was vulnerable because he was spending so much money on droning. He droned up to 92, by the way. Went up to 92 drones, 5 bases, teched up in every which way. But he wasn't attacked. He was in no real danger. Why was that? Because of the double robo, right? Like, it takes a long time to get your 2nd robo, to get your bay, to build up to 4 Colossus. Because you're building up that robust army, you know, you're going to be delaying your gateway warp-ins, your aggression, any kind of aggressive nature, and GG. Triple, he was punished for being too defensive, and Young Yaku was able to get away with his greed. And now here we go, we're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Talkomak. We have the red Zerg player, we have the player leading the series 1-0. It is Young Yaku. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the teal Protoss player down in the series. We'll see if you can bounce back. It is a Triple. we go. I do see someone asking in the chat about the brackets. We do have commands in the chats. We have bracket commands, socials commands. So, if you can think of a command, we most likely have it. If you want to support the tournament in another way outside of Patreon, Matcherino, !Matcherino in the chat, and you'll get a link to the Matcherino page. You can help support specifically this weekly tournament. That is how the players are paid out, of course, through and via Matcherino. So if you're interested, you can do so. Otherwise, just sit back and enjoy. Just enjoy the show, man. Yeah. So now, once again, standard open out of Young Yakov. Once again, gate expand out of triple. We're really looking to see how our players do adjust coming into Tokamak. Tokamak is the most defensive map in the map pool. Very defensive, very large map, longer rush distance by ground. I would say that triple's goal was to turtle up defensively back at home and take into Sky Toss. This is an easier map to pull that off on. I would say that it's a little bit unnecessary to take up and invest heavily into a ground-based composition into Colossus when you can get away with cutting corners and going into Sky Toss instead. So I would imagine that triple's going to be adjusting his style. Meanwhile, Young Yakov, what is the plan? Do we go for another greedy build? Does triple try to hard counter that and opt to be aggressive instead? As we mentioned, it's more difficult to be the aggressing player here on Tokamak, so we'll keep an eye on Young Yakov. There are ways to be cheeky on this map though, something that we didn't bring up yet, but on some of these larger maps like Incorporeal, like Maganatha, like Tokamak, you can get away with mutas. You know, Spire play and muta play is a viable option here for Young Yakov. It's risky, you have to be able to hide the Spire and keep it hidden, keep it safe. If it gets scouted, you can be completely shut down. If you recall, in his series against Shameless and against Classic, I think both games that he played Spire and played Muta, he lost both games. I think again, like, it's quite a risky way to play. As you're heavily reliant on keeping them hidden. Let's go. But now we do have 10 lings in production, 12 lings in, oh, let's go. 12 lings on the way. Now, once again, I believe the goal here is to catch the first wave of adepts and try to threaten the third base of triple. Speaking of, we do have only one adept into Stalker. That is interesting. You often do not go for a Stalker here. The Stalker doesn't really add much. The only thing the Stalker does is deny the Overlord. Deny the Overlord scouts. And make it more difficult to get eyes on what triple is up to. Lings, they move out to delay the third base, but so far the third base is, being delayed on its own. Oracle does move out. Yakov is looking for the third. And now we see why he went for the Stalker. No third base, this is already a tell. Young Yakov knows that something is wrong, and we are going and rushing into a Fleet Beacon, into a second Stargate. Let's go, the Tempest rush is upon us. Technically, this could be a carrier rush as well, but we're leaning more towards Tempest here. And again, Young Yakov, he knows that something is wrong, and here comes the Overlord. He's going in for the Scout. As the Overlord does wander in. Oracle's going to be zoned away. Now the Overlord sees nothing being produced in the Stargate. That's a tell, right? It should be second Oracle. The second Oracle should be in production. So something is wrong. He sees. he just sees a Tempest being made. Okay. Well, Yakov now is fully aware. He didn't scout the natural. He didn't see the tech, but he does see the Tempest being produced from the Stargate. So he knows. Knows what's going on. It's going to be a lair first here out of Young Yakov. Lair is on the way, Baliness as well. Getting up to 5 gases and getting ready for his Spire play. Oh, okay. So, if you remember, this is a build that Classic did popularize 2 years ago now. Gee, I can't believe it's been that long. I want to say it was 2 years ago, maybe a year ago. Yeah, I think it was 2. When Classic was in GSL, when he was competing in GSL, it was on Alcyone. It was on the Alcyone map pool. He did go for this, and he popularized not rushing into Tempest, but the transition point here. So this should be a Tempest rush initially, and then bam, you switch into a ground army behind it, and you hope that your opponent overreacts and overcommits into Corruptors. But I believe Classic's style of doing this, you still get a third, right? You go for a bit of a later third base, but still you expand, get a third, and then Classic will switch into Mass Stalker. It's a Mass Blink Stalker. We'll see if Triple goes into charge now. Blink as well, okay. Does go for Blink. Banelings are found. Yakov going for a Bane Burst. Oh my god. Does go for the bust. Tempest are distracted. Sentries on the way. The other force fields. Oh my god, just in time. Whew. Does force field in time. The pylon is exposed, but there's another force field. Tempest do turn around though. Here comes that Spire. And Triple, he still cannot expand. More gateways are on the way. And he's going all in. He's going all in. Zonyako to buy time. Spire is now done. Corruptors are on the way. And here comes a rally. There's no Robo, which means there's no War Prism, so reinforcements are delayed. That's still going to be 6 Tempest. That's a lot of Tempest back. A Muta? Wait, what? Why where are the Corruptors, Pappy? Muta? We're trading bases. This hatchery is going to go down. Down goes a hatchery. Queens are moving forward. Spores are repositioning. Mutas, they do get across the map. I mean, they will cripple the economy. Okay. I don't know if I'm convinced by this, I'll be honest. We'll see. Oh, the Queens! The Queens have to pull away. Clutch Transfuse. Banelings, they crash into the charge lots. And the slow lots. And here we go. Corruptors are on the way. Queens are waddling in. Oh no, the Queens are getting low. Yeah, Queens are getting caught out. Banelings, they crash on through. They save one of the Queens. But there are so many Tempest. Yeah, we need Corruptors. Jeez, the Mutas kill everything. They have killed everything. The Muta play. Was it worth it? He kills 43 workers. He's going for the base trade. Oh no, but there's a proxy pylon out on the map. Tempest moving in. And Yakov, he from here is just knocking down the front door. Oh, he thinks better of it. Uh-oh. Roachworm goes down. He turns back around. That was a bit of a waste. But he's got 14 Mutas. He's collapsing in, and he's going for the kill. He's going for the throats. Again, this was such a risky play here from young Yakov to go Muta of all things, to go across the map, to cripple the economy. Again, Triple, he has 2 workers, he has 2 probes, and he will lose every single unit. He can no longer reinforce. And with that, GG. With that, the final Tempest goes down. GG gets called. And young Yakov, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the quarterfinals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to young Yakov. A bold move against a 2-base Tempest all-in to go into Mutas, not Corruptors, to counterattack, and for it to be successful. He crippled the economy. He killed every probe. 2 probes were survived at the end of the game. There were only 2 workers, so he killed every single worker at the natural, at the 3rd base. And we saw that Yakov, he was able to cripple the economy. Triple took his time. He killed the 4th base, but Yakov, he was able to buy time with the Queens, buy time with the Spores until his Mutas could come back home. GG. GG. Hi. GG, well played. As we are getting ready here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. GG well played with that. Yakov does advance on, and we're going to be following Yakov into the next round. Let us quickly head on over. Here we go. We're quickly heading on over here. Exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves. We have some updates at Ledalix. Ledlix takes down Nikrak. That is a crazy result here. An upset, I would say. Nikrak, I mean, again, we praise him all the time for his TVP. I see he has some insanely good TVP. But here he gets knocked down early on in the tournament. So GG, very well done, very well played here by Ledlix. Doesn't advance on to the quarterfinals to face off against Solar. Solar, of course, he is the #1 seed of the tournament. And we'll see if anyone can stop Solar from claiming the win. Scoring down Krystianer. Krystianer takes down Cos Phoenix 2-0 to advance on to the quarterfinals, waiting for the winner of Percival and Coral Viper. Scoring down, we have Young Yakov. Young Yakov, he takes down Triple. We just saw that here and now. He's up against NightMare in the next round. That is going to be our next series. That's going to be our next matchup. Un momento. Quarterfinals. Streamers, there it is. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Shameless. Shameless takes down Ragnar 2-0. Shameless is up against SKillous in the next round as well. So we have our quarterfinals almost fully underway. Again, we still have Percival versus Coral Viper in the first round, but these are some heavy hitters. We got Solar, Lelix, Krystianer, NightMare, Yakov, SKillous, Shameless, and either Percival or Viper as well. So a very solid round of 8. Very solid matchups here. And again, we're going to be following Young Yakov into NightMare, and then following that into most likely the lower semis or the upper semis, whichever is first available. So again, semifinals. Both of them are going to be casted. So if you're a fan of Krystianer or Percival or Solar or Lelix, we'll be covering the winner of those matches and Coral Viper in the semis. As now we're focused on the lower half of the bracket. Let's go. So again, a bit of a slimmer tournament this week, a little bit slimmer here, but again, very high quality. A lot of players are still traveling, of course. We have Geralt traveling and returning from Canada, right? Bjorn was in Canada as well. Like, we have the Stellarfest event, which did just end today. So a lot of players were traveling for that, which is why they're not here. Thank you. See, Red Kuko in the chat, baby links as well. Thank you. Thank you for wishing us a happy partner anniversary. Thank you. True. Lelix performed here. Este Lelix. Popping off, back, popping off. But for now, we're going to be going on a short break, I suppose. Looks like videos are underway, so we're going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, NightMare versus Yakov will be here. And oh, never mind, no break. No break. Players are ready. Lobby has been made, and we are getting into Incorporeal for game number 1. Let's go. Here we go. Likewise, we do have, again, it's great to see the return of SKillous. If you recall, SKillous, he was competing initially in the Team League match of the Crank Gathers event, but then he was a little bit missing in action. He was MIA, and Mana stepped in instead for Team Liquid. So Mana was competing instead. SKillous, he was taking a bit of a break. But we might still go on a short break here. Yeah. So we'll see you guys soon. We'll see you guys soon, like in a minute or so, with our next series. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the quarterfinals. Welcome back to the quarterfinals here of the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 112. We're jumping into a fresh series here and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Incorporeal. We have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg, it is young Yakov. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player representing Streamer Zone. It is NightMare. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our PvZ. And when it comes to the predictions for this series, it's going to be a close one. Initially, I would lean towards NightMare, and I think I still lean towards him here as well. But I did mention something earlier in the broadcast, if you remember. Yakov, he was not looking bad against Classic at all. He did compete against Classic earlier this morning, or at least yesterday. He was competing against him, and he had a very clutch and very intense series versus Classic. So I want to believe that Yakov can take it to NightMare. I would not be surprised if this goes to the ace match. Whether it goes one way or another, I mean, we're here to find out. But I would at least want to see a game 3. Let's go. Let's go. Meanwhile, I do see in the chats, Bappy, because of you, I installed SE2. Oh no, oh no. Or reinstalled SE2. Take care, Bappy, take care. No. Janky, Bappy, janky. I appreciate being influential in such a way, and I hope you take care. You know, take it in small doses. You know, be careful with the smudge on the ladder. True. But good to hear as well. Good to hear. Again, I myself, I haven't laddered in quite some time. I've just had no time. Like there's been a lot going on. Whether it's with casting, whether it's with looking after the bunnies, of course. Streaming and laddering has been formed by the wayside. Especially this week, right? This week was so intense. I think for the past week we've had 2 casts a day every single day. We were casting Stellarfest, of course, event in Canada, and that was like a 5 a.m. cast. Like I am destroyed. Like the fatigue is definitely building up, and I'm looking forward to next week. Next week should be a little bit leaner, a little bit maybe. I'm honestly looking forward to it to be able to get a little bit more rest. Get some veg. I think next week we have a couple of days where we have like 1 cast a day. I think there's like 3 or 4 days where it's just 1 cast a day, which I appreciate. I appreciate that quite a bit. So we can just calm down, get some sleep. And of course, ladder stream. True. It's the real benefit of having a leaner casting schedule. Gets a ladder. Meanwhile, NightMare opening up Void Ray. Okay. Yeah, my attention. A Void Ray opener out of our Protoss. With this, we'll be able to hunt down Overlords and deny vision, deny scouting. And what exactly are we hiding? The pylon gets thrown down further back next to the gas geyser, and this is ideal to hide tech a little bit further back. It's going to be ideal. Void Ray has arrived. At the same time, we do have a surge of Lings moving on the right-hand side, looking to delay the third. Lings, they arrive, and they, get eyes on the Adept. There we go, the Adept will fall. Lings, they move in, they shut down the probe, not bad. And the third base is delayed. So delayed third base. Lings, they maintain their position. Yakov behind this is droning. And Schultz, going for a Robo, okay. Robo before expansion, Robo before Twilight Council. This looks like a Heights Templar build. This looks like we're building up Robo, Twilight Council, Temple Archives into an Archon drop. Assuming that's a Twilight Council following this. Otherwise, we could see something more intense, and we could see something more committed with something Soul Train-esque. So safety Roach run out of young Yakov. Again, he doesn't confirm the tech, but he does know the third is late. True. He knows the third is late. He knows it's a Void Ray, so he's playing it safe. Adept does fall. Links are thrown away. Oh, who is it? Oh, someone was having some latency issues. Checking our latency. Our latency is okay. So So hopefully everything's okay from NightMare and Young Yakov. Oh, so remember, I assumed when we said it was going to be High Templar, we were like, okay, if it's going to be a Twilight Council follow-up, it's going to be Twilight Council into Temple Archives. We saw there was no Twilight Council. It's Robo into a Bay. This is very old school. If you remember, Showtime and Creator, it was like 2 years ago, in the altitude map pool, they would do this. They would go Robo into a Bay. But I believe, if I remember correctly, they would go Robo Bay, second Robo into double Colossus production early to maintain their third bases and to build up into a quadruple Colossus move out, similar to what we saw at a triple in the previous series. But here we're getting extra gateways already. This is unique. We'll see if he does end up going for the second Robo. As here comes a Colossus. Again, remember, there's no Twilight Council, no charge, blink, none of that. Hello. NightMare, he'll lose the Oracle. Stargates? Okay, so again, I was expecting like a Twilight Council or a second Robo. We're going Robo into Bay, into Colossus, into double Stargate. Where's the fleet beacon? Are we going, yeah, like Phoenix? Are we going Phoenix Colossus? What is going on? Third Stargate? What is happening, Pappy? Yay. Triple Stargate into a fleet beacon off of a Phoenix opener. Like, what is? We already have the Void Ray for tonight vision. Like, what's the purpose of the Phoenix? The Void Ray's on the way. Here comes the Overseer. He's yeah, Yaku. He's gonna go in. He's like, the hell's going on? Is it Bay? There's a Forge. There's a second, and a third Stargate, but there's Phoenixes on the way. And it's just a bit of everything. So what the hell's happening? Behind this, we're getting a Hive. Hive is on the way. Immortal production has begun. Now we get into a heavily delayed Twilight Council, but we're getting there. And I appreciate that the Roach is just pushing in. They weren't quite getting some of the Colossus though. Colossus, they kite back in time. They kite away, Lings, they get into the middle line. They're not in home position, but they do get a couple of probe kills. Get a couple of probes, they too take down some of the Zealots. Oh, was that a Colossus? Oh no, not quite. Not quite. And Yakov, he's taking up in towards Lurker Tech. Meanwhile, we do see NightMare making 3 Tempests at a time. Once again, in my mind, I was like, what was the point of the Phoenix? If you remember, he was making extra Phoenixes he canceled. So it looks like it was a fake out. It looks like he was trying to show Phoenix Colossus, cancel the Phoenixes, only got the first one just to try to force another reaction before going into mass Tempest production. And we do see Young Yakov responding with, so far, Hydra, Lurker, Viper. Now, this composition here is okay in the mid game, coming into the late game, but against high Tempest counts, we will be needing a Spire. He sits court. I guess, nice pickoff. Army rotates. As Roach Hydra does try to step in, but the Colossus, they prove to be a little bit too good. Yeah, a little bit too strong. The Tempests are revealed. Now Yakubi's aware of the Tempest. He's massing on more Hydras. More Hydras are amassing. Vipers are out. 3 Vipers, they're gathering energy. Now, we mentioned earlier that against Tempests without Corruptors, it's going to be difficult to deal with. There is a world where these Vipers, they can abduct, right? If they can get within range just barely, if they can avoid I almost said Fleet Beacon. If they can avoid the feedbacks, then they might be able to catch out the Tempest, and the Hydras might be able to get within range with those abductions. But it also comes down to the feedbacks. Yakubi's moving in on the left, just causing a distraction. Oh, guess what? Another VMAX. It does get one Tempest. Does get two. Two Tempests go down. A High Templar as well. Not bad. As Vipers, they barely do survive. Okay, impressive. Getting one more abduction. Brings down the Colossus. Lurkers, they hold their own. At the same time, you see a push on the right hand side, breaking down that front door. Halunkies are slowly edging closer. And no detection. The Observer does race back home. Lurkers get within range. The probes are going down. Yeah, NightMare's out of position. Out of position. Late reaction, late response. Observer arrives here on the front lines, but again on the right-hand side, he will lose every single worker. 23 probes go down. Oh, the High Templar, no, he loses one, loses two, loses all three. Retarget. The High Templar. No. Ooh, barely gets it. There we go. All three Templar go down. And NightMare's falling apart. NightMare's falling apart. The Mass Hydra's coming in. Stuntus as well. He wants a Colossus. Oh, he wants a Tempest. Oh, he gets it. Tempest goes down. Void Ray as well. The third base is still on fire. GG gets called, and young Yakov takes game number 1. Whew. GG. The hell just happened? GG, well played. NightMare does take a lead in the series, and again, that was a crazy build out of NightMare. That's what I want to emphasize. Remember, NightMare, he initially went for a Stargate opener into Void Ray, which is fine, into a delayed third base, into Robo, into Bay, into second Stargate Phoenix production, into a third Stargate Triple Tempest. The hell. it was crazy, man. It was crazy. It was, again, very tech heavy. There was a lot of twists, a lot of turns. As a result, though, because of all those twists and turns, because it was so tech heavy, when I say tech heavy, getting into Triple Stargate, getting into Robo, getting to the Bay, getting to Colossus production, getting into Storm towards the end, because of all that tech, the Gateway army is very low. Like a very, very low Gateway army. The Gateway army is also weaker as well because it was a late forge. He still got the forge, but it was a delayed forge, delayed upgrades, delayed blink or anything like that. So the supportive army for those high-tech units was non-existent. So the High Templar, the Colossus, the Tempest were all exposed, right? They had no buffer, they had no meat shield in front of them to protect them. As NightMare was being quite greedy by being so tech heavy. So a lot of greed at NightMare. Crazy play. But here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the red Zurich player leading the series 1-0, and one game away from advancing on to the semifinals. It is young Yakov. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the teal Protoss player, the teal Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is NightMare. We go. See in the chat, Stellarfest final day starts in about 4 hours, doesn't it? Oh, right, my mistake, my apologies. Right. I thought that Stellarfest was only 2 days. It's 3. True. It's 3 days. 3 days. So yeah, my bad on that one. I was under the assumption that they were going to be wrapping it up this morning, but there is a third and final day for Stellarfest. Don't even play StarCraft 2, but these cards make me want to take a shot. Even though I've never played any RTS in my life. Oh, that's really interesting. That's really interesting, Shaf. How did you get into StarCraft? That's the real question, especially without an RTS background. I feel like a lot of the OG fans of StarCraft, right? Like they played Brood War when they were young, or at least I played Brood War when I was young, or like when SC2 came out, like that was big, right? Like SC2's release was huge. The vast majority of the quote-unquote player base of StarCraft 2, they only play the campaign, right? The campaign, and they don't really dabble in the multiplayer side of things. But getting into something like StarCraft without necessarily playing it is, I would say, maybe unique. I don't know. I don't know how common that is. That's very interesting. Very interesting. I mean, I say that, but if you remember, that was one of the big things about BlizzCon, for example, and what was so important about it, I would say, is that cross-pollination. I don't know if you remember, but over in in years past at BlizzCon, when they would have their big like grand finals, the championship playoffs at BlizzCon, the stage they would use, they would often share with other esports, so that would help. Like, as in, people at the event would stick around just because they wanted to watch one thing. Maybe they wanted to watch like the Overwatch World Cup or the Heroes finals or something like that. So they would stick around for all of it, for Heroes, for Overwatch, for SE2, and that's like a way that they'd be like introduced into one of the other games. Of course, that was many years ago. For now, though, once again, a Void Ray opener out of NightMare, going Stargate into Void Ray. Got into S2 esports because I was curious about the esports history, and S2 was huge, so it got me intrigued. Oh, let's go, let's go. True. Yeah, I would imagine that it's something that maybe gets brought up, especially early on, like if you were like into like League or something. Like, I don't know if that would ever like come up in certain events. Maybe. Especially early on. I learned about Soccer 2 because of Soccer 2. Never knew about Brood War. Oh, okay. Oh, let's go. Yeah, that's like, especially newer fans. Like, I know there was a big wave of fans of StarCraft during COVID. For whatever reason, like a lot of people get into it then as well. Like there was like a big influx in the player base and viewer base when that happened. Like around that time. I guess because people had more time to get into something like esports. For now, though, again, Voider opener into a third base into, this is, I would say, an early Twilight Council. Nowhere near as fast as last game, for example, when it comes to the tech of choice. But an earlier council nonetheless. So our eyes are going to be on NightMare. We have 2 more gates on the way. There is a high chance it's going to be Glaive Adepts. So this is what is perceived to be a more standard opener, but behind it's getting into Glaives. Technically, this could even be Blink. This could be Blink into like extra gateways into a lot of Blink Stalker aggression early on. But for now, we're leaning a little bit more towards Glaives. Meanwhile, we do have a young Yakov going for his own tech, going for his own all-in. So Overlord Speed is on the way. We're going for Drop Lords. We're going for a German Taxi. So Roach Speed is on the way. We're going Roach Ling Queen. Young Yakov is going to commit. Meanwhile, NightMare, he is going into Blink. But that, if you remember, that was Blink before a Templar Archives. The hell? Like, this is kind of weird. This might just kill NightMare. So a couple of things here. Remember, Yakov is all in. He's going for an all in. He's going off of just under 3 base saturation, just roaches, lings, and queens. Drop Lords are getting ready. Here they come. Here come the Drop Lords. So young Yakov, he commits into the all in. But NightMare, he does go for early Blink. Now, what does this mean? It means that Blink will be done in the middle of the all in, and that will help, right? Like, Blink is going to help quite a bit when it comes to the defense. But because he's going into such an early Templar Archives, that is going to eat into his overall warp-ins. That eats into his defensive potential. Because the Templar Archives is not going to help. Like, it's not going to be impactful in the defense. And here comes the all-in. Void Ray does confirm. Drop Lords are coming. Queens, they do drop off. Going for the Void Ray. Nice snipe. Nice snipe on the Drop Lord. Ooh, Lings, they rally in. Yeah, a little bit too soon. Is too soon. Lings get thrown away. That was how many? That was a lot of Lings being thrown away there. Yakov, this is running out of steam a little bit. Queens, they barely don't kill the Void Ray. And again, as you can see, the Temple Archives is a non-factor. No Storm. No Archons. We have 3 Shield Barriers on the way. And is this taking too long? The Shield Barriers are finishing. They're finishing up, Pappy. Lings, they collapse in the stasis. Stasis goes off as well. Biles, they do connect with the Void Ray. So decent connections. Army's being zoned away, going for the pylon. But again, is this taking too long? Another stasis goes off. Just buying more time, and Yakov is running out of steam here. Remember, Blink is done. Blink is done. One Stalker gets biled. Still a very intense defense here for NightMare. Nice target find, gets another Ravager. Another Ravager goes down. Stasis traps are running out. There's one more stasis trap on the way. Una mass. Does Yakov notice? More shield wires are finishing, but they're actually not really quite, they're not close to the fight. They're not too influential. Flush transfuse. Queens are being kept alive. Army gets forced back. The Biles, oh my god, don't quite connect. But the stasis does. And Yakov is finally getting on top of some of these stalkers here. He's trying to at least. Ah, Spire. Yeah, Spire is on the way. Storm starts up. NightMare, he's holding. He's holding on. Gets another Ravager. Two more Ravagers. And yeah, Yakov, he's running out of steam here. He's run out of steam. The all-in has failed. And with that, NightMare gets away with a massive worker lead. 72 probes. 72 probes of Queens. They do not make it back home. The all-in fails. And again, NightMare, the early blink timing was crucial there. On top of that, it's Tokamak, longer rushes by ground. It's more difficult to all-in on this map as well. So the map was working against young Yakov. Stasis traps were brutal. Denied so many Ravager piles. And NightMare, he's not really out of control. Now, his fourth base is late. That is true. So a late fourth base, but again, Storm is going to be a big factor finishing up early on. Yakov going into Muta play. This is a desperation move. Going for the Spire, going into +1. And going into Mutas. Now, the hope is that Mutas are able to not just deal damage, but keep NightMare busy, and give young Yakov the room that he needs to drone up. So the Stasis connects. Oh my god, the High Templar! They're exposed. Gets one Templar, does force insult, but gets 3, 4. Gets every single Templar. Does 10 in the Storms, which is brutal. Oh my god. Storms are insane, but he kills how many? 4 High Templar and an Archon, essentially 6. 6 Templar go down. And the Mutas are coming. But has he poked the bear? Oh god. He's poked the NightMare. Here we go. NightMare is moving out, catching out almost all the Ravagers. Stalkers, they move in. And Mutas, they cannot defend against this. They're going across the map instead. They're rushing into the mineral line. This expansion will go down. And again, Yakov, he needs these Stalkers to recall. He needs them to recall back. What's the plan? He's not recalling. No, he's coming. They're gathering on more forces back at home. Roaches are on the way, Lings are on the way as well. Nice around. Biles, they don't quite connect. Mutas, they do get the second mineral line. There are Archons to defend. Mutas, they get into the third. There's the recall. Nicely done. Does force the recall back home. Catching up some transferring workers. Archons, they cannot keep up. The SimCity working against them. Why are there all these pylons here? Some rough SimCity. No. Yakov, he does leave the army idle. He gets punished. But this gambit here from Yakov, it paid off. It has paid off. He killed the expansion. He killed 2 mineral lines. And remember, NightMare, he had 72 probes, now down to 41. Down to 41 workers. He will lose more probes. Diving on the High Templar, forcing out the Archons. Gets into another mineral line. And throughout all of this, Yakov is re-expanding and he's building up his ground army. He's building up. Finds the prism. And with that, Yakov is maxed out. Let's go. He's maxed out. Now, bearing in mind, just because he's maxed out doesn't mean he has the perfect army. Not by any means. He has Mass Muta, which is meant to harass, and he has a Roach Ravager, which is also a very mid-tier composition. Over time, NightMare can perfect himself, but he's also kind of struggling here as well. How many High Templar? 2, soon to be 5. So 5 High Templar, decent amount of storms. This main army here from NightMare is still very threatening. It's still on young Yakov to harass and to try to pick away at these forces to trade. Yakov is moving in, cancel the 4th base. Diving into the natural. He gets in. He gets in. Gets 9 more probes. At the same time, Roaches, they push forward. They get one of the Archons. And this is what he needs to do here. Just pick off one Archon at a time. Oh. That's a lot of mutas falling. At this point, the mutas, like, their time here has come and gone. Nice movement, though. Catching out 2 of the Phoenixes. Yakov. Does catch out 2 more Phoenixes. He's building up his Ling Bane. And again, it's on young Yakov to try to force the storms early. Like, try to force them out of NightMare. Before NightMare is able to move out. Or before the next big fight. Here he comes. Celadon has across the map. Oh, it's the first storm. There's 5 High Templar in total, so there's going to be at least 4 more storms. Oh my god. Okay, that's 2 more. There's at least 2 storms left. Oh, as else they get in. Yeah, they get into the mineral line. Drones are going down. Brutal damage. Yakov turns everything around for this. Storms are gathering. Yakov is at least taking up into Hive. Now, we did mention earlier that the mutas, like, their time is come and gone. I mean, I have to eat my words here because they find more damage. Like, they're still fighting more. And again, the SimCity in the main base is just very messy. It doesn't help when it comes to any kind of ground supports, but now the 7 probes do go down. Yakov, they'll snipe all the mutas. Heavy muta finally cleaned up. Oh. And does get the High Templar. Templar goes down. That's all that did matter. Lurker production has begun. Hive is complete. We have the Vipers. And Yakov, he is refining his army. Throwing away the Roaches. Not a bad trade. Go to Narcon, go to High Templar. As Roaches go down, the Lurkers are morphing in. Again, we're done with the Roaches. It's time for the Lunkers. 7 more Lurkers on the way. Ooh. Catching up 2 more Stalkers. And NightMare, are we pushing? Is it time? For now, just posturing. Just posturing, getting another 5th base. After, we'll see if he can adapt. Super. Nice feedbacks, very nice feedbacks. Catching out one of the Vipers. Jeez, Lurkers, they punish the Stalkers quite hard. Forcing out 2 more storms. Sky Toss is on the horizon, but I believe Yakov should be able to strike first, before Sky Toss. Should be able to. Ooh, meanwhile, force the bar. Tells them one storm. That's a lot of lurker shots going up. Yeah, the Lunkers, they pop up here against the Gateway Army. It's a lot of Archons going down. The storms are brutal, though. Yeah, brutal storms. Zelta cleaned up. Recall? Oh my god. Recalls into the Bailings. Yeah, NightMare, he has nothing left. He has nothing left. He's down to 2 White Templar, down to 1 Templar, 2 Archons, and Yakov, he's done it. He's broken the expansion at the same time Zelarama runs into a wall of spines. And it's just buying time. Hydra arriving. Yakov, he races everything over. Just barely in time. And Yakov defends. He holds on. Prism's still out there. And NightMare, we're fueled by copium right now, Packer. What do we have? We have 3 Templar, 3 Templar, we have 3 Archons, so to be 5 Archons, 2 Immortals, a very, very slim army here for NightMare. His economy is also lackluster, he's down to 46 workers. Yakov's economy isn't too much better, but it is better, is what matters here. That's all he needs. Just a slightly better economy, a slightly larger army. His Vipers are sucked up. And he ducked. Ooh, none time. Gets feedback. Spineclaw is not replaced. We have Zealots getting ready for their own dive. And there's detection for the lurkers. Yakov. Again, he's still getting ready for his own push. Yakov is about to max. He's about to max out. This is now done. Oh, but the lurker's getting caught. Yeah, there's a section that's going to be 4 lurkers being thrown away. Flash catch by NightMare. At the same time, Zelsa move in once again. Only catching out spine crawlers. Good. And Zelsa do snipe some of the tech here. Like NightMare, he's achieving a lot with quite a little, even going for the Greater Spire. Greater Spire's under threat. Barely is saved. Nidus into the natural. And there's Corruptor. Yeah, there's now Corruptor. Nidus won't finish. Nice into the main. And GG gets called. No final fight, but NightMare again, he was just hanging on by a thread. And young Yakov, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here, young Yakov. He will claim the series, a very intense game. And once again, a shout to NightMare because he had some crazy builds. Like game 1, he went, what was it, Void Ray Stargate Opener into Robo, into Bay, into second Stargate, into Fleet Beacon, into third Stargate, into Temple Archives, into, like, it was crazy. it was nonsense in game 1. Here in game 2 was still something similar, where he went for a Stargate Void Ray Opener into early Twilight Council, into Blink, but he also got a Templar Archives as well at a really weird time, which of course was hurting him because he was up against an all-in. Now remember, NightMare did defend. NightMare, who was in a better position, he defended against the all-in. He had 72 probes, he was up in workers, he was up in army, and we saw that young Yakov went for the Hail Mary play. He went for the Mutas, and the Mutas did pay for themselves, unscouted, unprepared. The Mutas were the MVPs of that game. If it wasn't for the Mutas, he would have lost. Would have lost it all, it just fallen apart there. So very impressive Muta play, just wreak havoc to snipe so many workers, so many mineral lines, and to keep NightMare busy. Because remember, he forced the recall. He did force the recall with his Mutas, which was crucial. And And with that, we are heading on over here to the semifinals. Let's go. Here we go. So again, exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look back yourselves. Again, crazy games out of NightMare. Crazy games, that'd be crazy games. So we're heading on over to the European server as we have SKillous. SKillous takes down a Shameless 2-0. Yakov takes down NightMare 2-0. We have it Yakov versus SKillous in the semifinals. Let's go. Let us go. At the same time, we have some other updates. Solar, he does also advance on to the semis. Solar 2-0 over Ledlix. Does advance on. And Solar still waiting for the winner of Percival and Krystianer. We go. And as a reminder, we will be casting both semifinals. We'll get there. For now, of course, lower semifinals will be first, and we'll be jumping into Solar series after this. We will get there. For now, though, we're going to be going on a short break, very short break. Veto's are underway, and when we come back, when we return, we will have Yakov versus SKillous. Actually, hold on, I gotta catch up in the chat. True. Gotta catch up. Once my PC is fixed, I plan on playing against the pros in open tournaments. Just watch. Oh, let's go. Jump in, Pappy, jump in. Supply doesn't lag. Towards the end of the game, it was not lying. True, it was not lying. But yes, going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have those semis. We'll see you soon after the break. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the semifinals or semifinales here of the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 112. We are here. We have returned. We are back with the first of many the first of two semifinals. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the Red Protoss player. With Red Protoss representing Team Liquid, it is SKillous. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Nightmare Slayer himself. We have the blue Zerg player. It is Young Yakov. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our PVZ. And I'm curious to see how things will... Oh, let's go. That's Young Yakov. He is here to pop off. Proxy hatchery across the map. We're going for the rush. What do I mean by that? Well, welcome to 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool. We do have mineral walls, of course, here just inside the natural. You can mine through those mineral patches. You can break on through and try to rush into your opponent's natural base and bypass the wall. Okay. But it's going to be hatch gas pool. Hold on. Hold on. So hatch gas pool at a Young Yakov, of course, going for that hatchery across the map. We're not rushing into lings. We're going to be prioritizing the gas a little bit more first instead. We'll see how this all does piece together. I'm used to seeing this alongside like a 12 pool or again, like an earlier pool timings nonetheless, is what I'm used to. Here we go. Drones are being rallied. Remember, you have to work through those mineral patches. You have to break on through. And yes, this is the updated version of 10,000 feet, of course. It is updated. If you remember previously, this the map itself was a little bit more blue and green, was a little bit more like underwater, under the sea. But has been visually updated. Different lighting, different textures. In preparation, because this is going to be a part of the ladder. It was yesterday. Yesterday it was announced the finalists of the TLMC, of the Team Liquid map contest, and 10,000 feet did make it, as we assumed, right? It's like we assumed Mothership, Celestial Enclave, and 10,000 feet did make it through. If you recall my assumption, I was actually concerned that White Rabbit was going to be amongst the top 3 as well. But that's my own personal thoughts on said map. For now, lings are flooding, the wall is open, and the wall is... there is no wall. There is no wall. The queen is waddling in, lings, they flood into the natural, and there is nothing here to defend. I mean, we have 2 adepts, that's true. There are 2 adepts to hold on. Lings do give chase. Meanwhile, we still have more lings rallying. Shield batteries on the way. And we have to spread that creep. Spread that creep out. There we go. Going for the Artosis pylon. Oh, the pylon. Yeah, the pylon's under threat. The pylon will go down, denying Warp Gate. Warp Gate is denied. The pylon's going to go down as well. Now going for the final pylon here. As it tries to power up that shield battery at least. Does fall. GG gets called, and with that we won't be able to experience the map because Young Yakov will take game number 1. GG. Whew, GG, well played, Yakov. He does start things off with a bang here with the proxy hatch. Remember, because of the more standard opener, we do have, I should say that SKillous, he wasn't really tipped off to scout, right? Because of the hatch gas pool, there wasn't anything too crazy when we saw the probe scout across the map. He didn't see an early pool, he didn't see an early gas geyser, so everything was looking more or less standard, which is why he was caught off guard so heavily by the more later hatchery timing, or by the later kind of aggressive build. So GG well played with that. Young Yakov, he was able to freely drone up, freely saturate, freely drone up, and freely, I should say, work through that wall and then break through. GG well played. Yakov takes the lead in the series, and will Yakov just claim it here and now? Oh boy, let's go. Let us go. As we are getting ready for game number 2. And again, we're looking to make this a short series. Oh boy. I was about to say that we should be expecting like something more standard, just because NightMare was so unorthodox. He was so unorthodox with his play, so unusual with his builds, that in comparison, SKillous, he should be able to look, you know, normal in comparison. But we're not getting there yet. He was denied that, and now we're loading into Incorporeal for game number 2. Let's go. Loading into Incorporeal. And spawning in the top left-hand corner here of Incorporeal, we have the red Protoss player himself, representing Team Liquid. I would say favored in this series, but now down and close to being out. He has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. It is SKillous. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player. Again, just looked at NightMare, was looking spicy and looking in form against Classic previously. And will he just will he make it here and now? Will he make it to the grand finals? It is young Yakov. Let's go. Let us go. So far we are moving in. Yakov getting ready with his own hatch gas pool. And for the time being, at least, we have a more standard setup here. You know, there's no early pool timing, there's no proxy across the map, none of the shenanigans. There's a higher chance that we're going to slow things down and get into a bit of a longer game state. As I mentioned before, I do expect to see more standard play out of SKillous, but we'll keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on the SKillous. Now we do have our Lings dipping out. Stargate opener out of SKillous. Luna open up standard. Now, once again, there's a very high chance that Yakov is going to be the aggressor here. We saw that previously we have seen him be a little bit more tech heavy against Triple, for example, but that was against a more defensive start. So we'll see. We shall see. Now SKillous does move out with his adepts. 2 adepts, of course, they can one-shot workers. They will threaten the mineral lines, and we'll see if we can get in. So we have the shade. Does threaten that shade. More armies building up. That's going to be 10 more Lings in production, so the goal here for young Yakov is to shut down these adepts into counterattack. So you go for the counterattack. Ooh, does up. Not quite gets around. SKillous barely slips away. And here come the Zerglings. Okay, Link Speed does finish. Yakov is rushing across the map. Ooh, the move gets spotted. SKillous is aware. Oracle turns back around, and SKillous, you should be fine. Yeah, should be fine. Nice scouting, nice reactions. Lings, they do commit. They do get both adepts. They're going to be zoned away. Likewise, early Twilight Council out of SKillous. You have my attention. Early Council, 2 more gateways. Did I say... So we're getting to 4 gates. So 4 gate setup, this is going to be one of 2 things. Either Glaives or early Blink. Show us what you got. How aggressive, how sort of we're going to be. There we go. Blink is on the way. So early Blink timing here out of SKillous. We saw NightMare do this in the second game in this series. NightMare's was a little bit different. If you remember, he went for Blink into a Temple. Sorry, he went Temple Archives first, into Blink afterwards. It was crazy. This time, no Temple Archives. This time, Blink will be done early and will be done in time to defend against any aggression at the third base. Likewise, it also allows SKillous to be the aggressor as well and to be active on the map to deny the fourth of Young Yakov. They've satiated in. Drone's going to be going down. We had 2 drones in the main base, and so far 3 drones here at the third. He does get another. Barely, no. Yakov does Holy, does defend, does go for the earlier lair. And he's building up into a Roach heavy composition. Fourth base is on the way. And I'll be honest, I was almost expecting Overlord speed. I was, but no. Yakov is droning up, getting up to 3 bases. As Stalkers move out, Lings they move in. They hit the third base. Nice run by, nice counterattack, getting on top of the shield battery. Boys are being pulled to attack to defend, and the battery will go down. At the same time, Stalkers are headed for the fourth. Once the force side cancel, and he will. Oh no! Ah, where is it? Oh my god! What a mass! Oh, Jesus. Does barely cancel in time. We do see SKillous defending against the Lings. So far, so good. And Yakov is taking. He's taking up. We have the Hydra den on the way. So Yakov, he's not going for the all-in. We have Hydras. Meanwhile, we have the second Robo and the bait on the way as well. So SKillous going to double Robo, double Colossus production. Building up even more. There's another cancellation. Yakov just can't get a fourth. Oh my god. There's the recall. Roaches, they do slightly punish. They get 1 Stalker, but that's all they get. And Yakov, he just wants to drone. He just wants to tech up. Oh, getting into the infestation pit, telling us even more that he wants to go into Hive. And Yakov, he's stuck on 3 bases. He's falling behind. Very late saturation. One of the Oracle's falls. Just one of the Oracles. Lurker Den is on the way. I mean, again, young Yakov, he will eventually get into his own Vipers and Lurkers and refine his army, but the problem is that he's going to be so late in doing so that SKillous should already have a fourth, actually. Hold on. Okay, so there's a bit of a back and forth here. On the one hand, SKillous has done an amazing job at denying the fourth base over and over and over again. At the same time, SKillous could have been greedy. He could have been greedier than he was. He could have gone for an earlier fourth base for earlier saturation. It looks like maybe he was scared. It looks like SKillous, he was scared he was going to force an all-in. He didn't, but he was terrified he would. So he was being very safe and very cautious. As a result, he has a higher Colossus count early on. He's making 2 Colossus at a time. But the economy did struggle as a result. Did struggle because of it. The 4 Colossus can move out. Again, a terrifying backbone to this army. Vipers are on the way. Lurkers, they should be able to buy a little bit of time for those Vipers. No, maybe not. Maybe it's just too much here. Yeah, SKillous, he's just pushing in. Where are the Lurkers? He gets 1. barely gets one in time. Observer moves in. Barely does kite away. And this fourth base, it goes down for the third time. Yakov, he just cannot expand. He cannot keep up. SKillous is going for the kill, going for the throat. There's 5 lurkers defensively. SKillous is going to rotate. We do have the fleet beacon on the way. So let's take it into the main. Same time, we do go for a roach counterattack. And do we force a recall? Oh, gets one. The lurkers are dead. Yeah, lurkers are gonna be sniped one after the other. It does get one of the Colossus at least, but every lurker falls. And sure, SKillous, he will lose an expansion. He will lose a mineral line. One base goes down, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because he's gonna just go in and end the game. As the Protoss cannot be stopped. The Zealots are distracting the main base, getting himself the Hydras. Better trades here for SKillous, trading minerals for gas. Picking up Hydras. With a supply block. And just keep going. Again, there's no reason to turn around. Sutter stepping in. I mean, there's a surrounding coming. True. There's potential with the surround. The boys are being pulled into the Colossus. Oh no. Colossus, they kite away. And with the final surround here, it does get the Colossus. Okay. Does pick it off. Yakov is holding on to his 2-base setup. He has 26 drones. SKillous on 3 bases with 50 workers himself. Getting his mothership. Disruptors are on the way. And SKillous perfectly fine. And this is it. Final move out. We start to step in. We're going to throw away the roaches, throw away the Hydras. GG gets called, and SKillous ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. And again, SKillous, with that early blink timing, he was able to be quite crisp with it. He was able to deny the 4th base twice. Twice it was cancelled, twice it was denied, and that was critical damage. If you remember, we were assuming, like, okay, after it was denied, the second time at least, Yakov would be forced into an all-in, but no, he tried to tech up into Hive, he tried to tech up into Lurkers. SKillous, of course, did the correct thing, and he was being aggressive earlier. He was able to kill the 3rd base for another time, sorry, the 4th base for a 3rd time, so kill the 4th base again, and just never really allowed young Yakov to recover. Never did allow. And with that, we have 1 game left. We have 1 game left in the series. Here it all ends. Here it all ends on our final map. Where exactly? I don't know yet. Let's go. Okay, the final game of the series will be on Persephone. Okay. We'll be loading into Persephone here. That final game. Meanwhile, we have updates, of course. Krystianer did take down Percival in the upper brackets, and he was able to bring him down 2-0. So once we wrap up this series, we'll have another PvZ between Solar and Krystianer. We'll get there. We will get there. Spawning in the bottom hand corner of Persephone, we have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg player himself. We're tying up the series 1-1. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg player himself, it is young Yakov. Here we go. And again, young Yakov, he was just having a very hard time last game expanding and getting his 4th base. He was denied 3 times. He just couldn't expand. He had no economy. That's why he fell behind. That's why he had no setup. That's why, despite the nature of Zerg, he was down in workers, down in economy, down in bases, down in army supply as well. Just a very rough game there for Yakov. And we'll see if he can make up for that here in the ace match. As once again, hatch gas pooled. This time there's no hatchery across the map. We'll keep an eye on Yakov once again here if he does attempt to be more aggressive. This isn't necessarily a bad map to try to go for a longer macro game. I will say that there are definitely more defendable maps out there. Here you can rotate between the natural base, between the third, and between the fourth as well. It is difficult to engage just because of the choke point here. There are rocks here that do, even though you can open this area up, it is still quite difficult to actually make use of that. So we often do see more later and split map scenarios on Persephone. We'll see if our players are willing to embrace that. Meanwhile, SKillous, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the same build. If he goes for a Stargate into third base into early blink, would make sense. Just to be safe and to turn that around on young Yakov. And now there's the Stargate. Do you have to go 15 hatch without overloading this snap because also will block you if you don't? It isn't necessary to, I mean, going for an unnatural natural is like quote unquote standard. Like, as a result, it is not uncommon to be forced to take the third base instead of your natural instead. So a lot of players, like, you will still see them just like expand elsewhere. On Persephone. On other maps as well. At this point, it's one of those things where, oh Jesus, calm down, Jakob, calm down. Where hatch blocks were so meta and so standard in ZVP that players, I mean, all current pro players, pro Zerg players are very used to that opener and used to defending, despite being forced to take a bit of an awkward natural base instead. Like, that's just been kind of ingrained into the players. I remember there was a time where it was expected, and it was surprising if a Zerg player ever got their naturals up and running. That was before the 15 hatch timing was kind of like did hit mainstream. This was like, what, like 2 years ago? And even nowadays, like, still is seen. So now we do have our Twilight Council, tech of choice. SKillous going first. Twilight Council will keep an eye on where young Yakov spends his gas as well. Double Oracle on the right hand side. Spore isn't done. Mining is denied. But we do have a second queen. Nice reactions here by Yakov. Saves the mineral line. We do have the second forge on the way. Sorry, the forge is on the way. Getting into blink. Now, once again, this is early blink and a late forge. Once again, SKillous is going to be aggressive early on. And just like last game, the goal, the purpose of this opener is, one, to be defensive against an all-in, but two, to apply pressure and potentially deny the fourth base. And we saw how successful SKillous was at that last game. Meanwhile, Yakov does get an early Roach Warren. So I should say he gets a safety Roach Warren. Delayed Evo Chamber at a young Yakov, so he's going for a more Roach heavy composition. Not as Ling heavy. Remember, to get into a standard macro game, you typically do see Evo Chamber +1 melee in towards Ling Bane Hydra, but here we have early Roaches to be safe early on. As Roach speed is being researched. Ling production has begun. As SKillous is poking out, he has eyes on the fourth base. There's Revelation. This time there are plenty of Zerglings. Ooh. They get punched by the Oracles. Second Robo on a base on the way, just like last game, going to double Robo, double Colossus production. And we see young Yakov taking up faster in towards Hive. And this time he did not lose the 4th base. This time he invested quite heavily into all these Zerglings. Right, so a massive wave of Lings, Roaches as well. He saves a 4th, now getting a 5th. This time we have a cleaner start at a young Yakov, and he's taking into Lurkers again. But this time in a much better position compared to last game. So coming into the mid game, I'm favoring young Yakov. Yes, SKillous, he's going to have Colossus, and you can see they're already in production. But this time, young Yakov, he's going to have his Hive, he's going to have his Lurkers, he's going to have his Vipers at a reasonable time. Despite the healing pad, oh no, never mind. A healing pad proves to be a little bit too much. Yakov, he throws away a lot of Lings. Fighting in the healing pad. Respect the pad. Respect. Things to engage. And SKillous is pushing. And again, this time he's reinforcing with Colossus. He already has 2. They're coming. And Yakov, his Lurkers aren't ready, actually. I assume they would be. But we have 5 Lurkers in production. Base is under fire. Yakov, he has to give up on it. The 4th base is going to go down. Nice pickup. Catching out 2 Hydras. Same time, Yakov does counterattack. He moves out. SKillous moves in. Lurkers do Paru. And SKillous, he actually rotates into the main. Oh, risky move. Very risky here. Colossus try to support. That's a lot of Stalkers going down. That was 5 Stalkers getting sniped. Expensive losses there for SKillous. He has to pull away. Does have to back off. First Viper has arrived. Currently, there's no feedbacks with the army. Can we abduct those Colossus? Yakov is looking to stabilize. Now, as he builds up more Lurkers, I can say ground heavy composition like this, like he can hold the line. He can hold the line, thankfully for young Yakov. SKillous, he doesn't have a fleet beacon. There's no fleet beacon, there's no Stargates. We're not taking up into Sky Toss. Yakov does have time. Nice abductions, he gets 1, he gets 2. He does abduct. SKillous trying to move in, but he gets punished. Nice storm, very nice storm. And another, oh god, the layered storms. Ay, ay, ay. Storms were solid. As now there's a 2nd and 3rd Viper. SKillous, he distracts on the left. Pushes on the right. There's our fleet beacon, ready for Sky Toss. We're getting ready for Sky Toss. And we'll see if Yakov can hold on. Workers, they are somewhat in position. But here comes the revelation. There we go, getting 1, 2, or 3 Lurkers will go down. Ooh, mass feedbacks on the Viper, storm as well, and this base, it may just fall. He's still holding on to 1 more storm. Goes to the mineral line, another storm here on the left-hand side. But Lurkers, they arrive in time. They do arrive in time. Cells, they make their way into the natural. The other base will be cancelled. Oh god, a bit of miscontrol there by Young Yakov. He cancelled both hatcheries. Cancel both. And now we're backing off and we're bracing a longer and later game. As we mentioned, it's not uncommon on Percival to slow the game down, just because it is easier to, it is easier to kind of cut the map in half and take your own side of the map. But that's still going to be 26 drone kills. Young Yakov, he's still behind. He's still struggling to keep up. SKillous is building up a bank. Young Yakov, he's struggling to do so himself, specifically his gas bank. Let's rotate. Zell say to get into the mineral line. More drones going to be going down. And Yakov is all in. At this point, he's all in. He sends everything right across the map. SKillous out of position. He's out of position. Lurkers a Duporo. SKillous trying to respond. He has how many? He has 7 High Templar. There's the cloak. Decent feedbacks. Oh my god, the army's running into Lurker fire though. And that's going to be every single High Templar going down. Yeah, that's Final Storm. Final Storms. But it's still enough. Looks like he... Oh no, the detection! The one Lurker! There's one Lurker holding on. 3 more Lurkers in the natural. 0 detection. Free damage with the Lunkers. Let's go. The one thing keeping SKillous back at home. The lack of vision. There it is. Observer pops out. And Yakov is cleaned up. He's cleaned up. You have Yakov trying to rotate on the right hand side. Let's see, we'll lose that army. And with that SKillous, he should swim out of control. Remember, Yakov, he was all in. Like that move, pushing in between the bases, that was a kill move. That was a kill move that was meant to end the game. Because it didn't, I mean, Yakov falls behind. Yakov, he's trying to re-drone, resaturate, morphing in extra lurkers. But momentum is in favor of SKillous here. He's pushing. So far, SKillous is looking another way in. Zelte once again dip in on the right hand side. Nice slow zone. SKillous, he should be able to rotate in. Once again, though, no detection. The storm, though. Yeah, storm is enough. Lurker goes down. There's one observer on the right hand side. No observer with the main army. The lack of detection is keeping Young Yakov alive, like constantly throughout this game. Just able to stay borrowed, stay cloaked. He's surviving. As Yakov does rotate towards left hand side. He does have a decent lurker count. It's 9 lurkers here. Oh, we'll take a storm to the face. More storms are coming in. This time there is an observer with the army. At least it should be. There it is. There we go. Does catch out of the lurkers. And Yaku is hoping to delay SKillous and maybe even force a recall. Oh, never mind. Yeah, SKillous, he's fine back at home, perfectly fine. Pushing in, there are 10 lurkers defensively. And Yakov is doing everything he can to just survive. But GG. he can only survive for so long. GG gets called as SKillous. He will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Again, the writing was on the wall for a long time there. Young Yakov, he was on the back foot for almost the entire game. SKillous, he was able to get very comfortable, able to deny bases, able to get into mineral lines, shut down the army. As we mentioned before, there was one shot that Young Yakov went for, that one kill move right down the center into the natural, and he was able to get some damage done. He was able to trade at least, but that was meant to kill, and he failed to do so, so he fell behind from there. Again, still better economy, larger army for SKillous. GG. Did snowball out of control, and with that, SKillous, he does advance on to the grand finals. We're going to be following him into said finals. Let's go. Sorry, we're going to be finding out who will join him in these finals. We're heading over here to the upper bracket semis to find out who will face off against him. Let's go. Let us go. As we do have the upper semis. Exclamation mark, be in the chat. Exclamation mark, be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. As we mentioned before, we did have Solar. Solar, he was able to take down Ledlix earlier. Beautiful. He was able to take down Ledlix earlier. And meanwhile, Krystianer took down Percival, and we have Solar versus Krystianer in a best of 3. Beautiful. So just very quickly setting things up. Offside esports. Beautiful. Queen has 7 range versus Colossus versus 6 range of the Stalkers. So with some queens, might be nice in the mid game versus Colossi even. No, God no. Queens that have a very low attack rates. Queens are very immobile as well, and queens can only be used defensively unless you're going for like a German taxi all in, which Colossus wouldn't be a factor in that kind of case. So queens that do not scale, mass queen I should say, does not scale into a longer game state. There are better options for Zerg to deal with Colossus, like lurkers, which do outrange, and like vipers as well. As you take into lurkers, you naturally already have Ling Bane Hydra as a supportive army. That's kind of why that naturally becomes the army that you work with. You can go roaches, you can go roach Hydra lurker as well, but again, the purpose there is to get into lurkers as they are a better tool compared to something like Queen. Oh, but here we go. Here we go. We're getting into our next series. We're getting into our fresh best of 3, the upper semis. Remember, we have SKillous Nikita. He's waiting in the grand finals, and we're going to find out who will join him. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pylon, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss, the Polish Protoss, representing Offside Esports. It is Krystianer. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our PVZ. Let's go. Let us go. Coming into this is going to be an interesting one. Of course, Solar, he has been on fire as of late. Solar, he recently did win the Monday Night Weekly. Solar, he is the first player to win a weekly tournament in months for Zerg. Like he's the first Zerg player in months that wins an online cup. That was the Monday Night Weekly last week. He won 1-0 over Hero, if you recall. Hero, it was obviously Monday Night Weekly has a unique format. Personally, I'm not too fond of the format, but it's how they do it. Basically, they had their first series. Hero, he won the best of 5. He won the best of 5 3-2, but because Solar came from the upper bracket, he had a second life, and that second series that they played was a best of 1. So it came down to a best of 1. Hero won the best of 5, and then Solar wins 1 game, then he beat Hero. So I would say, like, maybe not the most consistent, or maybe the most, so what's the best way of phrasing it? It's an interesting format, I should say. And you know what, hey, we take it, right? Like the first Zerg win in a long time. Let's go, let's go. So Solar did win Monday Night Weekly last week, and we'll see if he can go for another Open Cup win here with the Tuna Cup. So we're going to be leaning towards Solar. Meanwhile, Krystianer, I would say PvZ is his weakest matchup. I would say that his PvP is exceptional. His Protoss versus Protoss. We've seen Krystianer take it to the best Protoss players in the world. Likewise, his PvT, we've seen look quite solid as well, taking it to players like Spirit. Against Zerg, Krystianer, he does have a certain style to him, that is true, but I would say it is the style, it is the matchup that needs the most work. Now, I have heard from other like practice partners of Krystianer that he has been working on his PvZ, and he has been improving it, and it has been looking better as of late. I haven't seen it myself personally, so I'm curious to see how his Protoss vs Zerg has been evolving over time, as it is not a matchup we get to see often. Double Adept into the main, and 2 Adepts taking one-shot drones. Solar, he does pull away in time, does pull away, so far so good. Both Adepts do go down. Nice defense here from Solar, losing 1 drone. And Krystianer going for a Robo. Oh. So this looks like Stargate, Robo into Twilight Council, into Temple Archives. This looks like an Archon drop. High Templar into Archon drop. Now, if you remember, I did say that Krystianer, he has a style to him, and I brought this up a couple of times in recent weeks. But this build that Krystianer is going for, assuming that it's going to be a Templar Archives into High Templar, into Archons with a War Prism out of the Robo, is a build that was very popular by the European Protoss players like Krystianer and Mana and Geralt and Pappy and SKillous and MaxPax at the beginning of the year, like think January, February of 2025. There it is, Temple Archives into Archons. So Archon drop is coming. This was trendy at the start of the year. The Koreans never really picked it up, and it's an okay way to open up. The Archon drop does give you some map control. It allows you to harass across the map. That is true. But it does also mean that Blink is delayed, so it's less aggressive. If you remember, you could see what's the benefit of opening up Blink. I mean, you saw it in the previous series. Game 1 of Young Yakov versus SKillous. Yakov, he lost his 4th base 3 times to Blink Stalkers. like that's how assertive and aggressive you can be with Mass Blink Stalker. Here, it's going to be lighter pressure with Archons denying Overlords, denying Creep, denying Vision, and maybe threatening the Queens. But again, it's less committed compared to Mass Blink Stalker. And here come the Archons. So the drop is coming. The Archon drop typically is followed by a Chargelots. So Chargelot Archon is typically the go-to. And Solo, upon seeing this, may respond with an Infestation Bit into Swarm Host play. Like Swarm Hosts are, he goes for the other option, he goes for the Spire, okay. Now, why go Spire? Remember what we mentioned, when you go for an Archon drop opener, it means you forego Blink Stalkers. Well, if there's no Blink Stalkers, your anti-air is limited. If your anti-air is limited, may as well go Mass Muto. So this is a reaction to the initial build, to the opener. We can see Krystianer, he does preserve the Archons, warping in some slow lots. He's going to commit. He's committing in. Gets a Queen. No Transfuse. It's a late Transfuse here. He wants the Queens. Another Queen goes down. That's 2 Queen kills, and drones are falling. Solar getting caught out. Is getting caught out here. He will lose 6 drones, not bad. But what's important is that the Spire is still hidden. Right, the Spire is still hidden. Mutas are coming. And again, anti-air is limited. What is the best anti-air that Krystianer has? The Archons themselves. But even then, they're very immobile. Very immobile. Muta production has begun. So far, completely unscouted. We can see Krystianer going for a second robo into Mass Colossus production. Sorry, Mass Immortal production, I meant to say. So into Mass Immortal, into like this kind of Immortal Charger Archon composition. Here come the Mutas. Krystianer, did he scouts? He did not, but he is getting some safety site defense. We do see a cannon, I believe. Yeah, a cannon in the mineral line. Storm has begun. Phoenix production as well out of Krystianer. Interesting.
The enemy has
Mutas are revealed, of course. Okay, so Mutas are revealed. Phoenix is on the way. And Krystianer, he's keeping up. Archon is ready. So far loses 2 probes. Losing more here at the 3rd. Again, just keeping the Protoss busy while Solo builds up his roaches. 5 probes so far. It's okay damage. It's okay, it's okay. Trying to catch out the Phoenixes. Oh. Nice control by Krystianer. Doesn't get caught. Does pull away in time. And Solo's almost maxed. He's almost maxed out. Again, this entire time he's been building up his Lingroach Ravager. Solo, he's getting a 5th base, but it's just for larva. So again, just for larva. You can see Solo cutting workers at 75. He does not fully saturate. And it's go time. It's time to end it. Now, storms are going to be a big part of the defense. If the storms are able to connect, then Krystianer can hold. Here comes the 4th base. This is better for Solar. Krystianer, now he's spreading himself thin as he expands. Oh. Does he get a Phoenix? Solar, he does break in. Bowser connect. Railing speed is almost done. Oof. Some of the roaches do get caught. Means they keep up with the Zealot run by. But as time goes on, Krystianer, he's catching up with army supply. He's building up more Immortals, more Archons. He's building up a more formidable force. And Solar, he's falling behind tech-wise. Like, he's still stuck on Lingbane Roach Ravager. His army doesn't scale well into a longer game. Banelings get caught out. 4th base will fall. But it's go time. Yeah, here we go. It's go time. We're collapsing from behind. We do land a storm. Yeah, decent storms here. Archons morph in. Banelings get shut down. And Krystianer, he will clean this up. He will clean this up. He's chasing down Solar. And keep going, Pappy. Solar's in trouble. Without Banelings, he cannot defend. And the Banelings are not done. Yeah, they're not complete. Krystianer is going for the kill. Getting on top of the Mutas. Getting on top of the Ravagers. And he still has more storms. Yeah, plenty of storms left over. Krystianer, he shoots Snowball out of control. And Solar, he was just left in the dust. Left in the dust. Left with Roach Ravager. And at this point, Krystianer's done it. Yeah, Krystianer's done it. GG gets called. Krystianer, he takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Krystianer takes the lead in the series. The Muta play wasn't worth it. The Muta play was not worth it for Solar. He did invest into the Mutas, and they didn't really get much damage done. They killed, what, 5 probes? I want to say like 10 in total. Only a couple of worker kills. Krystianer, he was able to keep a cool, calm, and collected head here, just massing up more Immortals, more Archons, building up this Death Bull of an army. And remember, Solar, he forced himself all in. Remember, Solar, he was completely all in there towards the end, or that entire game actually, because he chose not to drone up and not to tech up into Lurkers. He chose to stay on Lingbane Roach Ravager and commit to maxing out on Lingbane Roach Ravager. So the longer it went on, the worse it became for Solar. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into game 2, and we're loading into Magnetic North. Let's go. Let us go. What does Storm have for dinner today? Storm leftovers. Ah. Oh. There we go, so we're getting into game 2. And again, it was a bit of a gambit there from Solar. As we did mention in the previous Jan Yakov series, going into Spire play, going to Mutas is very risky just because you're so heavily reliant on it being unscouted. We saw that Krystianer, he saw it coming ahead of time in the middle of the map with his Oracle. His Oracle did scout the Mutas. He was able to react with Phoenixes, react with Cannons. And again, the Mutas, they fell on their face. And Solar committed into the all-in. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Magnetic North, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, down in this series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match for Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player representing Offside Esports, leading the series 1-0. It is Krystianer. Here we go. So load into Magnetic North, and we'll see if Krystianer goes for the same build. Personally, I don't like the idea of going for Archon drops 2 games in a row. Game 1, he was successful, partially because, I mean, the Archons themselves didn't do much damage. I mean, he killed 6 drones. Yeah, true, he killed 6 drones. He killed 2 queens. That was nice. But a big reason for success, of course, was the commitment of Solar and the lack of damage dealt by the commitment, by the Mutas, of course, giving Krystianer a nice mid-game to get into and to build up his army. This time, if we see the same build out of Krystianer, there's a very low chance that Solar's going to go into Mutas, right? It's a very low chance that he goes into Spire play. So it's going to be more difficult for Krystianer to really get into that kind of mid-game game state. And to build up into that army, as Solar will most likely take a different approach. So I hope to see something different here by Krystianer, but we'll see. First things first, welcome to Magnetic North. The Magnetic North is one of the TLMC21 maps. This map used to be hyper aggressive. If you remember, there used to be a gas geyser, a high yield gas geyser here on the right hand side, and we would see a lot of Zerg players rush into that base and go for a roach all in with the high yield gas income. But they got rid of it. They did get rid of it. They removed the gas geyser. Now we have a high yield gas in the top left and bottom right hand corners, but they're further away. Much further away here. Now, all-ins are still seen quite regularly. The reason for this is because the rush distance. So, when it comes to third base versus third base, rush distance by ground is quite short. Likewise, it's also very direct here. You can see there's a third to third base, right down the middle here, and there's no ramps. There's no ramps. There's no cliff faces. There is a little bit of terrain, right? You have some side blockers, you have some rocks here to try to use to take advantage of to slow down a push, but for the most part, a push is not going to be slowed down much at all here on Magnetic North. So I feel like German taxis, we've already seen quite a lot of them on this map. We could see even more in this series. So we'll keep an eye on Solar to see if he does go for something more aggressive. Stays out of gas. Setups are moving in. Now, when it comes to three-base all-ins, it isn't just how accessible the third base is, it's also how open the area is between the bases. Also my mistake, as Solar does go for the linear third, doesn't take the triangular third base. Okay. Interesting. Does go for the linear third. Once again, Stargate into Robo. This screams the same build. So Stargate, Robo, Twilight Council, Temple Archives, Archon Job should be on the way here. Yep, there it is. There's our Twilight Council, so same build 2 games in a row. As I mentioned at the start of this, I'm not too fond of the idea of going for the same build twice in a series, so this is a really risky maneuver here from Krystianer. And again, we should not be seeing a Spire response at a Solar. From here we can go into a heavier Roach commitments. From here we could even go into Swarm Host play, that'd be another option. It's going to be a 420 Roach Horn timing. Lairs on the way right after. There's the Templar Archives. Here come the High Templar. Here come the Archons. And again, Krystianer, he has to be so on point with the scouting. I did see that. I don't know if you noticed, but for a moment there, Solar, he started Burrow. Curious. Getting into 5 gases. Ooh, High Templar are denied. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, delayed warp in, delayed Archons. So already a nice start for Solar. To drop in. And once again, the follow-up is going to be a heavy Immortal army with charge. So Archons, they poke into the front lines. Roaches are amassing. Let's transfuse. One Roach goes down. Adept shed into the natural. Lings hit us around, and with that, every Adept here will fall. So not worth it for Krystianer. More Roaches on the way. Solar he dropped up to 63. That is 3 base saturation, or just under 3 base saturation. And Solar, he may walk across the map. He has the option. Yeah, he's walking. Okay. So, not a German taxi, but we're going for a 3 base all-in. 3 base all-in, the 4th base is only for Larva. That's why 0 saturation. 0 saturation, here comes the all-in, we're walking across the map. Let's go. And either Solar kills Krystianer or he dies trying. Krystianer, he does see it, he throws down a wall of shield batteries. Again, Solar, he can rotate in between the natural and the 3rd base is another angle of attack. Oh, and he gets in. He's looking for a way in. The Immortal tries to hold on. Oh, the Immortal barely saved. Barely. As Roaches, they break into the natural. Immortal gets chopped off. Oh no! Once again, barely pulls away. And Solar is on it. Solar, he's breaking through, getting into the natural, catching out reinforcements. And again, the rush distance, the attack angles. All-in's a favorite here on Magnetic North. Krystianer trying to hold on with the bare minimum. Zini has the bare minimum to defend. Charge just not finishing. And the control has been good from Krystianer. He's been preserving his army, but he just doesn't really have much of an army to work with. There's just not much here. Oof. Yeah, Biles on the Immortal. Contamination on the road. Let's go. And gets up the contamination. And Solar, he breaks into the mineral line. More probes going down. GG gets called, and Solar ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We're going to the ace match. Again, I wasn't really fond of the... I wasn't really fond of the idea of of going for the same build 2 games in a row, especially on Magnetic North, as we saw. I mean, we were theorizing and we were talking about 2-base all-ins, oh, sorry, 3-base all-ins, specifically German taxi variations, because of the rush distance across the map, because it's hard to slow down a push. Instead, we just didn't even taxi, we just walked across. I mean, that's how aggressive you can be here. That's how short the rush distance is as well. So against Solar, he just went for the walk across, waddled up, GG. GG, well played. And now we're getting ready for the ace match. And again, I'm hoping that Krystianer does shake up his openers here. I'm hoping he does mix things up. But also, we'll see what map we load into. We shall see. As we are getting ready for the ace match. For the final game of the series. And, oh, game 3 is going to be on Incorporeal. Okay, I would say this is going to be a bit of a better map for Krystianer. It's a larger map, a longer rush distance by ground. I would say it's relatively defendable on 4 bases. Relatively. We have seen some successful all-ins, but it's still difficult to pull off. I'll say that Muta play is viable on Incorporeal, but because we already had Mutas once in the series, there's a lower chance it's going to happen. We'll see. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the South Korean Zerg player. With the South Korean Zerg player, we have the Blue Zerg. For Team Falcons, it is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Protoss player. The Red Protoss player himself, representing Offside Esports. It is Krystianer. We go. As we're getting into our next game, loading into the final game of the series, the ace match. Vámonos, papi, vámonos. There we go. And we'll see if Krystianer goes for the same Archon drop opener. I mean, I will say that, again, like, all-ins are a little bit less favorable here on Incorporeal, so there's a higher chance he gets away with it if he does go for it. It should be better than last game, at least. But we'll see. Building up. So far, standard openers. Again, we're still expecting a Stargate out of Krystianer, Stargate into Oracle, into Robo. Oh boy. Now Solar just going for standard opener. Hatch gas pool into a third base. Third base is going to be on the way. Lings spoke out. Here comes the Stargate. And do we see Krystianer get into Blink? Does he go for a Twilight Council? Do we see a standard game? Let's go. Ready. Yeah, sorry, the elves they do get across the map. So far, 2 drones going down. Here comes our first Oracle. And our eyes are still on Krystianer here. And there it is. Same build. Same build. Robo into Twilight Council into Archon drop. Let's go. Let's go. As the Oracle is deflected. Lings, they poke in. They get a full... They see everything, by the way. Lings, they see the Robo. Solar's fully aware. He's fully aware of the build. Here come the extra gateways. And again, Solar, we'll see if he just responds with roaches again. We'll see if he does go for something more creative and more cheeky. As there's that early Roach Warren being taken, gases are on the way as well. Solo, so far, he's reacting well to this. I mean, just like last game. Really, with what's going to be the most curious thing is the follow-up here. Does Solo go for another 3-base all-in, or does he macro from here after he deflects the initial Archons? And if they shade him for a second time, they get 1 drone so far. Maybe 2. There we go, 2 drones do fall. So it does get a little bit of extra damage. A little bit extra. Here come the Archons. Here comes the drop. So Krystianer does head into the mineral line. Does head towards the third, I should say. As he moves out, Lings move in. Nice harass. Archons, they threaten the Queens. Queens, they pull away. Zealots do more Fin. Roach production. Now Roach is still in the way. Krystianer up. He gets up the Queens. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Queens get picked up. Very nice damage here. The Roaches were late. Yeah, Roaches, they barely didn't come out in time. Doesn't quite get into the mineral line though. Roach is now popping out, and Solo will hold. But this was a shaky defense. Shaky defense. Mining was denied. And Queens were brought down. 5 drones. 6. 6 drone kills. Not bad. Again, this is decent. This is decent for Krystianer. Better than last game, of course. With that, hunting down Novalord. Nice pickup. Oh, and that is an infestation pit. Okay. Now, I'm curious here. If you remember, I kept mentioning something throughout this entire series, whether or not Solo would respond with Swarm Host. Swarm Host is a very common response, very common against Archon drops. For the same reasoning why Spire play is, just because of lack of Blink Stalkers. Drop alerts are on the way. And we'll see if Solo does indeed go into Swarm Host or not. Conversation bit is done. Yep, here we go. Swarm Hosts are on the way. And again, this is a very common response. That's why we brought it up in the first game and in the second. The reasoning for this is, as we mentioned, without Blink Stalkers, it's actually quite difficult to keep up with the Nidus Worms. Usually, with a more mobile composition with Mass Blink Stalker, you can rotate back and forth, you can split up your army, you can chase the Swarm Host and lock down those Nidus Worms. Here, Krystianer has a less mobile army. It's very robust, don't get me wrong. He has Immortals, Archons, Charge Lots. It's a very beefy army. It's very thick, but not very nimble, not very mobile. So this is where Swarm Hosts are common. Oh. As things, they drop into the bases. Probes are going down. Here comes the Swarm Host, just outside the main. And Krystianer, so far, he has no idea. He didn't necessarily confirm the tech. Here comes a Locust Wave. Krystianer tries to respond. Locust Wave going for the main. And does he go for the tech? Does he go for the mineral line? Yeah, going for the mineral line. Oh, going for the Nexus, actually. He will get it. The Nexus will go down. A massive pickup. Takes down the base. Main army pushes. Krystianer, he may just be forced all in. This is it. It's all or nothing. Solar, he's maxed out, building up Roach Ravager, trying to buy some time. He has to engage ahead of time as well. And the problem is that at this point, the Dominors are falling, right? The Dominors are falling one after the other. One Nidus goes down, another does rise up. Getting ready for another Locust Wave. Here it comes. Swarm Host into the main. Swarm Host, they get in. Here comes the Locust Wave, shutting down the production. And Krystianer, he can do nothing. You can see here his main army, it's posturing left, right. Do we push? Do we not? Gateways are going down. You can see Krystianer, he's stuck here on 2 bases. Stuck in a 2-base economy. Krystianer, he does try to push once again. Biles will slow him down. And Roach coming in from behind. Now, what I'm saying is that, or what I should mention here is that Krystianer, he still has a terrifying army, right? Like, sure, he can't defend. Sure, he can't keep up with what's going on. And we may just go for a base trade, but the main army here for Krystianer can win. Like, he can win a head-on fight. A straight-up fight can still go in favor of Krystianer, and yeah, we're going for the base trade. Locust saving the main base. Roach, they hit the natural. We have some defensive units here for Krystianer, but only some. He's going for it. Krystianer's going for the kill. Storms are landing. Behind this, Hydras are massing up. We have a defensive Locust Wave. Oh no! The Locust Wave is coming. The first couple of storms. Storms reconnect. Nicely done. Immortals are moving in. Krystianer, he can still do this. He can still do this. Keep going. He's got what? He's got 11 Immortals. Got 2 more on the way. A couple of extra Warpins would be ideal. Here comes a Prism. We need that Warpin. The points are being pulled. Celts are warping in. Storm on the right-hand side on the Hydras. Krystianer's chasing down those Storm Hosts. Another Storm. Do we have another? Oh. Storm of the Roaches. Hot pickup. Krystianer, he needs a Warpin. He needs a Warpin. There it is. Local save just expired. And again, Krystianer, he can still end it with this. He's stutter stepping in. Ravagers, oh, they're not ready. The Ravagers aren't ready. Roaches are falling and no shot. Has he done it? Krystianer. Has he done it? He gets a full surround. Oh my god. The Biles. Jesus, Biles connect. That's 3-Eye Templar. Oh, there were some storms there. There were some storms there. The Biles are brutal. Boys are being pulled. This is everything for Solar. It's everything. Got a couple of Locusts. Couple of Locusts trickle in. Stormhosts are being, sorry, the Immortals are being forced back. He's juggling. He's juggling his heart out. We need a Warpin. There we go. With the Warpin, I believe he should have enough. I believe Krystianer, he should break Solar here. Against Solar, he was killing the main base. He was killing the 4th base. He made sure that Krystianer, he had no economy. But as we tried to mention, Krystianer, he was slowly building up that army, and he just had one all in, like one push, and this is it. Like, this push has been going. This is meant to end the game. Oh my god. And I believe he has. I believe he barely has. Again, it was close. He's up to almost pure immortal. Almost pure immortal here. Sub steps in. GG gets called, and Krystianer, he will take the series 2-1. advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here. Congratulations to Krystianer as he does claim this series. Big result, big upset as well. When it came to the games themselves, we had game 1 with Solar attempting to go mutas and being punished for it. Of course, he was punished for the muta play, and Krystianer was able to snowball out of control in game 1. Game 2, we saw Solar had a very clean response against Krystianer, able to shut down the initial opener and snowball into an all-in himself on Magnetic North. In game 3, we saw the Swarm host play at a Solar, and it was very successful. He was killing bases, killing tech, killing production, but as we were mentioning, the core army of Krystianer was slowly building up. He was building up that death ball of a core army of Immortal Archon High Templar, and eventually Krystianer, it was one and done, right? It was just one push. It was everything he was hoping for, was one big all-in with his remaining army, and again, the soup lies. He was down like 80 supply at one point, but the soup does like it. A very efficient composition, a very cost-efficient composition. Again, there's a reason why it's called a death ball, of course, and he was barely able to pull it off. It was still close, still very close when it came to the push, but did break through. GG all played. A couple of really strong moments there. For example, catching out all the morphing in Ravagers, storms on the Locust Waves, storms on the Hydras as well. We could see that he was building up Hydras, but the storms were landing very nicely. There were some moments for Solar, like the Biles on the High Templar, like the attempted Surround as well, but ideally Solar, he had to engage ahead of time. Like ideally you want to be slowing down the push in the center of the map, trading ahead of time to make use of your bank, to rebuild, and to just keep slowing down the army and whittle away at it. You know, sniping a High Templar, an Archon, and Immortal while you can as it pushes. But GG, well played. Whew. And with that, we have our 2 finalists here. Here we go. We have our 2 finalists heading on over. It is going to be a grand finals between Krystianer and SKillous. We're getting ready here for the grand finals as Krystianer does claim it. We have our 2 finalists here. We're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have that best of 5 finals between SKillous and Krystianer. See you soon. Bye. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals. Those grand finales here of the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 112. We're getting ready here as our top two players have arrived. And before I get ahead of myself, before we get into the finals, it is time for something special. It is time for La Rifa, baby. It's time for La Rifa. Here we go. Something special that we do here every single week for the Sparkling Tuna Cup is a random participation raffle. All the players here are eligible as long as you played out your games. If there was a forfeit, ineligible, right? You'd be ineligible for the tournaments. But here we have all players competing and everyone has a chance, has a shot to walk away with a little bit of extra prize money. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Here we go. Just very quickly setting up here for said raffle. Bam. Oh, that's the schedule. There we go, there we go. 5 USD is on the line. Again, nothing too major, nothing too big, but it's just a way to spread the love, a way to spread the love, a way to spread the support as well, and a way to kind of support some of the other players here. I mean, again, it's random, so it could even go to a finalist, it could even go to SKillous, could even go to Krystianer, could go to anyone, as we have 13 players, and one of them does walk away a little bit richer. Here we go, here we go. This week, of course, hashtag rigged as well, as always. Here we go. This week, congratulations to our random raffle winner. Oh, congratulations to Nickract. Nickract. GG, well played. Nickract, of course, he was, I would say, one of the favorites to go far in this tournament. But if you remember, Nickract, he actually got knocked out early in the tournament. Quickly heading on over here, Nickract, he went down to Ledalix in the first round. Ledalix, he popped off. He was crazy. Went 2-0 against Nickract. Very impressive results, very impressive performance there by Ledalix. And in the end, Ledalix was able to advance something against Solar. Solar did knock him out, but again, it was really good showing out of Ledalix and a surprising result. But despite that, Nickract, he does end up earning $5 extra here tonight. GG. GG, pappy. GG. Let's go. Let's go. So congratulations to Nickract as it does win the random raffle. Congratulations. Now we can get ready for the grand finals. And again, big win for Krystianer to take down Solar, going for that eventual all-in, being forced into the all-in in that final game as he was building up the High Templar, building up the Immortals. Likewise, SKillous took down Young Yakov, and we have a PvP finals between SKillous and Krystianer. Let's go. I'll be honest, seeing the bracket here tonight, Solar, he was the favorite player. He was the #1 seed for a reason, and I was hyping up Solar previously, talking about how he was the first Zerg player to win an Open Cup in months, and I was gonna lead into the fact that he might even, you know, win another, right? Like, he might become like more of a regular champion amongst the online Open Cup scene. That is not the case. That is not the case. Not this week, at least. I mean, hey, he was able to walk away with the Monday Night as the Monday Night Champion tournaments last week, and we still have, of course, another tournament this week with Wardy TV Mondays with Picasso Cups. But the week begins with Sparkling Tuna Cup, and here does make it to the semis, but does not make it to the finals this time. Instead, we have the PvP Krystianer and SKillous. Let's go. Let us go. Best of 5. Beautiful. Just letting the players know we are getting into that best of 5 finals here. Game 1 was Vitas are done, and we're loading into game 1. Game 1 is going to be on Pylon. Hashtag rig back. Yes, yes. Yaku, he won again. He won again, Pat. He won again. Thank you for the class. I'm a head out. Oh, no, oh, not the Zerg, man. Oh, no. It's all good, man. It's all good. Zerg outplayed supports for 5 minutes. Okay, now Krystianer goes. I mean, as you mentioned, like, it was important that Krystianer, even though he was taking a lot of losses when it came to his economy, when it came to his production, when it came to his tech, he was preserving that core army to just build up to one Hail Mary push, right? One Hail Mary push. And it was on Solar to try to whittle away at that army before it got across the map, because it was so terrifying. And last he wasn't quite able to. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting into the grand finals, getting into the final game, the final series, sorry, of the tournament. We're here to crown our champion, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pylon, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player, the Polish Protoss representing Offside Esports. It is a Krystianer. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will become our champion this week. Will it go the way of Krystianer? Will it go the way of SKillous? Who's it going to be? Who will be crowned that champion? Krystianer, of course, he is Krystianer. He has won the most sparkling tunas of 2025. So he's coming in with those accolades behind him, or in the history, I should say, of sparkling Tuna Cup. Krystianer, he has won the most. At the same time, you know, there are other higher rated players like SKillous, players like Solar, I would say as well, who are rated above him. Despite that, he's got that tuna boost. Let's go. But now 2-gate opener out of Krystianer, 2-gate opener out of SKillous as well, 2-gate openers all around. And Krystianer, he's known for a couple of things in this matchup. One thing that he's known for that I'll bring up now that most likely will be applicable to this series at some point or another is going for a gasless style, going for a very low gas count into the mid game, building up on 3 bases and going for a very strong charge timing, Krystianer, he can be very deadly with that, and he has brought down and sniped many a player with that timing. So that's going to be in the back of our minds. Now he does dip in. Does get eyes on the pylon. So second pylon in the main base for SKillous, second pylon in the main base for Krystianer. No one is proxying. And no one is faking a proxy either. Oh, as SKillous opens up with a Robo. Okay, you have my attention, Babby. Robo open out to SKillous before expanding. He didn't get in. Oh, he didn't get into the bases. He didn't confirm that it was a standard build. So this is a very safe opener out of SKillous, and he can turn this into a 1-base all-in himself, especially on pylon. And we'll confirm that if he throws in a 3rd gateway. There is 1-base all-in. So 1-base all-in, 3rd gateway on the way for SKillous. He's committing to his own setup here. Now, one of the reasons why you can all-in like this, despite it not being proxied, is because you're on pylon. Pylon has a very short rush distance by ground. This is the most aggressive map in the current map pool. So you can just walk across. The current ladder map pool, I should say. So you can just walk across. Adepts are getting caught. So nice pick up by Krystianer. He gets 1 adept. But again, he's expanding. He's setting up his own proxy across the map. At Krystianer, he's only got 2 gateways. The Immortal's on the way. And who locks down who? We've got force fields. Okay, the Immortal has arrived. Krystianer is get the hell out of here. Now he knows. Yeah, now he's aware. He's aware of the all-in. He's racing back home. Force field doesn't catch him. Oh. Meanwhile, Krystianer has the high ground. You see that? Does pick off an adept. Pulls away. Here he pulls away. SKillous continuing to warp in. Of course, remember, he's all in. Remember, 1-base all in out of SKillous. We have a shield battery back in home. We have 1 battery in the natural. Nothing in the main. The first Immortal is almost here for Krystianer. He's almost there. Needs a little bit more time. As he tries to look down the Immortal. He does try to. SKillous does start to step in. Going for extra warp ins. And down goes the shield battery, down goes the pylon as well. I mean, SKillous, he's gaining ground. He's gaining ground in the natural. Again, Krystianer, he just has to hold on to the main. As he gives up on the natural base. A lack of shield batteries is concerning, though. Does he commit? He commits! Oh my god! Commits into the middle line, force field on the ramp, but it doesn't matter, we just elevator in anyway. As we're wasting a bit of DPS here, now going for the pylon. Waste DPS. Depowers the gateways. No more warp-ins here for Krystianer. Just Immortals. And SKillous from this point, I believe he has done it. There is a second Immortal though. Now a third Immortal. Uh-oh. Up to 3 Immortals. That's a lot of firepower. It's going to be close. It's very close. Very clutch. Warps in more Adepts. Immortal barely pulls away. Points are being pulled. And Krystianer, can he hold on? No. Again, it's so close. He will lose 2 Immortals. 1 Immortal remaining. And he's done it. Yeah, SKillous, he has done it. He has broken the back of Krystianer. GG gets called, and SKillous takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, SKillous went for the 1-base all-in. Krystianer, he did opt to expand, so he was being very greedy with his build. He likewise did not have a shield battery pre-set up in the main base, so also very greedy there as well. He was punished for that. When he tried to defend in his main base, his shield battery was so delayed and barely was not able to make a stand. Again, it was just a really rough start for Krystianer when it came to the build, when it came to the opener, and GG. GG, well played. With that, SKillous takes a lead, and now we're loading into game number 2. Going to be loading into 10,000 feet. Another aggressive map. Oh boy. And more aggression is coming. Here we go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the red Protoss player, with the red Protoss representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself representing Offside Esports. It is Krystianer. Here we go. As we're loading into that second game. And again, 10,000 feet is another one of these more aggressive maps. And we'll see. We'll see how SKillous does approach this. Likewise, Krystianer as well. Proxies are very viable here. Because of the terrain, it can actually be quite tricky trying to find proxies on the left and right hand side of the map. Because of the tumors, because of the alcoves that are available as well. So proxies, they are viable. Here we go. Yeah, speaking of scouting for proxies, SKillous is checking. As you mentioned, like, this can be a really terrifying position. He may even just go for a fake. Yeah, he's going for a fake pylon of his own. Okay. So, fake proxy out of skills. I do like this, considering what happened in the first game. I mean, there's a very high chance that Krystianer would believe him. You can see he's looking. He's looking for the pylon. He sees nothing. And how does he react? Does he fall for it? You can see he checks behind the mineral line. He checks further in the main, confirms the pylon is not here. Does he believe he's being cheesed? You can see he sends out a second probe. He's scouting on the left-hand side. Pylon on the low ground. And SKillous is here to block. Dips into the main. SKillous, he himself needs to know if Krystianer responds with a robo. So no. Probe goes down. And Krystianer, he should expand. As he's still searching. Now this could still be a proxy Stargate as well, but Krystianer, he's mostly scouted everywhere. Mostly. There is an area here which he didn't check. This area actually is known for proxy Stargates. So Stargate could actually achieve quite a lot of damage here. He finds it. Okay. Does find the pylon, does confirm, and now he can focus it down. He might just be trapped. Uh-oh. Krystianer, there's no way out of this. Yeah, he's trapped in a corner. Here come the opposing stalkers. Here comes the sentry as well. And tries to recall. He will save the pylon. SKillous, he saves the pylon. He kills the stalker. Very nice start here for SKillous. Both players are expanding. SKillous going for a robo himself. Krystianer going for the Twilight Council. Now, when it comes to the follow-ups here, a Twilight Council, of course, working towards Blink, working towards the mid-game. SKillous, he's going to have a heavier Immortal count, and he can go for a later Immortal timing with like 3 and 4 Immortals. Yeah, the Forge on the way for +1. So we're going to have a bit of a tame early game building up into the mid-game. Yeah, building up. So far, they do shade into the main base. They do get 1 probe, and they might get a second. Yeah, just barely. 2 probes do go down. At the same time, Krystianer does get some counter damage as well. And so far, even trades. Ooh, slightly in favor of SKillous. Gets 4 probe kills. Slightly in favor of the red Protoss. From here, we're building up. As we mentioned before, we have the earlier +1 timing, we have the earlier Immortal production, so this is going to be a big power spike here for SKillous. But he's going to be going for a +2 timing instead. Okay. But again, that +2 timing is going to hit very hard. And it should be what SKillous commits into. Hallucination is checking for extra gateways, is checking for the 3rd base timing. SKillous, he's aware that he's safe. He also spots the move outs, and it's not really too much to be concerned with. 5 stalkers, sentries. Yeah, SKillous, he deflects. Krystianer, he rotates. SKillous is keeping up. No shield batteries. Uh-oh. Yeah, no shield batteries. Nice force fields. Locks down the probes. It's going to be 3 probes going down already. That was a lot of force fields. Oh, as Krystianer does completely out position. Very nice. But he only has 1 left. If at all. There we go. It does go for the second force field. He's holding on to 1 more. Does he get it? There it is. Lands 1 more force field, and he's going for the 3rd base. Ooh. As SKillous, he does break out. He did pull the boys to mine. Can he save the expansion? Looks like he will not. 1 more volley. Nexus does barely go down. There's another recall. Oh. And the question is, did Krystianer spend too much supply doing that? Krystianer, he bled out how many units exactly? He lost 6 sentries and 3 stalkers. That's a big loss when it comes to the army supply. But hey, the stalkers have built a kite. They do trigger the shields. And Krystianer is not in a bad position here as long as he can survive the counterattack. Remember, we spoke about it, the +2 timing, right? +2 is almost done. SKillous is that much more committed. So again, triggers the shields. SKillous moving in. There's 3 shield batteries at the third base, only 1 at the natural. So I'll say peel off into the mineral line. And they're going for economic damage. Busting into the natural. Stalkers are being kept busy by the Immortals. Ooh, not very nice flank though. Yeah, Krystianer comes in from behind, he snipes the Prism. Prism goes down, but Zelsa getting to the main. They were stuck on a move. Not the most amount of damage. And without reinforcements, SKillous, this army is on its own. The Zealots are coming. Us get into the mineral line. Probes are going down. 16 probe kills. Nice damage here out of SKillous, and this may just be too much. Yeah, it depowers the gateways, denies warpins as well. Has limited warpins. Zelsa flank. Immortals just try to push in. Oh, that's one of the Immortals is very low. And he snipes. And he gets every single one. Every Immortal will fall. Getting 1, 2, 3 Immortals. But the Zealots have still been wreaking havoc. More Zealots reinforced, trading minerals for gas. Catching out more Stalkers. And all the pylons are being depowered as well. Yeah, this is game-ending damage. It's game-ending here. SKillous, he's done it. GG gets called as a Krystianer. He's down to a handful of Stalkers, 0 economy, and SKillous takes a 2-0 lead. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Krystianer, he had some really nice moves when it came to force fielding the ramp, when it came to killing the third base. Some really nice moves, but as you mentioned, what did SKillous have? He had 3 Immortals and he had +2. He had a big upgrade timing, he had a big upgrade lead over his opponents, and he was able to counterattack just in time as well. Break through, get into the natural, get into the main base. Those Zealots were doing more than just killing workers, they were depowering all the production buildings, depowering all the gateways. So Krystianer, he couldn't reinforce, he couldn't maintain his army, and in the end, even though he killed all the Immortals, by that time, it was too late. He lost everything else in the natural and in the main. GG. GG, well played, and with that, we're now getting into game number 3. We're loading into potentially the final game of the series here. The pressure is on Krystianer. Let's go. Let us go. So we are loading into Tokamak. We go. Kind of has with the soldiers are too long at the end. I mean, he did a really great job when it came to surrounding the army and sniping the war prison. There was some really nice moves there for Krystianer. Unfortunately, he just didn't have any setup in the natural. We were trying to emphasize it, but remember, when it came to SKillous' all-in, when he arrived, there were 3 shield batteries at the third base, and I think he got up to 5 shield batteries at the third base. Like, he was very secure there to defend and to fight. That's why the Stalkers, they stayed in that area, but he only had 1 in the natural. Like, his natural base was very vulnerable and very exposed. He did not have the setup at the natural to actually defend it, to protect it, and SKillous abused it, right? Did abuse that natural. So even if Krystianer had even dived on the army a little bit more ahead of time than what we saw, like the damage from the Zealots was still critical, getting to the natural and the main base. But here we go. Here we go, we're getting into game number 3, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Polish Protoss player, we have the blue Protoss for Offside Esports. Down in the series, down heavily, he has to fight back here and now to make a series out of this. It is Krystianer. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Team Liquid, it is SKillous. Here we go. I mean, before the Zealots were in his main and his natural, I don't think he was passive before that. You have to respect the Immortals. Respect the Prism. But we go. Here we go. So now we do have our second pylon in the main base for Krystianer, and this time the second pylon is in the main base for SKillous. For the first time, we do have some standard builds, some standard openers, 2 gates, and what do we open with? We have Double Adept by SKillous, so a much more aggressive start, and meanwhile we have Sentry Expand out of Krystianer. So we have Greed here from our Protoss. Basically, this Zealot is just for show. Zealot is just for show. The goal is to cancel. Yep, cancels the Zealot, makes a Sentry, throws down a very fast Nexus. So Greedy build by our blue Protoss player. And again, SKillous opening up double adept. The goal here is for economic damage. For the most part, Krystianer, he should be favored when it comes to the openers if he's able to wall off, right? If he can deny any kind of adept harass into the main base, he should be okay. Just because adepts, they're ideal at killing workers, they're not ideal at destroying buildings. And we have another set. So getting it to 4. We could even go up to 6. There's the base being taken. Yep, there we go. We're building up to 6 adepts. Aye. Now, the power of 6 adepts is that if SKillous walls off with a shield battery or with a pylon, that is not going to be good enough. The number of adepts here are going to be high enough to be able to focus down that building and actually break and force their way into the main. So it's a lot of adepts. They're coming. Here comes the initial shade. Probe is in position, should be fine. We're getting him to 8, by the way. Let's go. 8 adepts. And again, we have to be so careful here for Krystianer. Thankfully, he does have some sentries. He can force field. The force field will help. Here comes the next set. Krystianer, he did scout the adepts, he knows. And to do this, you have to wall off for the gateway. You need a gateway here instead. Here comes the mass shade. I mean, just ignoring the main, just going straight for the natural. Does commit in. Decent force field. Locks down 3 adepts. 3 adepts they pull away. Nice control here from SKillous. Gets 5 probes so far. And he won't be able to shade in. Yeah, he commits, but there's not progression. Force a recall, and Krystianer will hold. Krystianer, he does hold on. Now, a couple of things here. Krystianer, he did lose a lot of workers. That is true. And the economies are now even. We now have an even worker count. But because of all those warp-ins, Krystianer does have a higher stalker count. He does have more DPS potential. To make up for that, SKillous going for Immortals, right? It's not worth going into going into Blink here. Not worth it. Just because SKillous, he's behind when it comes to the gateway units. So needs those Immortals instead. And SKillous can turn this into a 2-base all-in with Glaives. So once again, we have +1, we have Immortals. Very similar follow-up here from last game for SKillous. Two more adepts moving in. Hallucination does confirm that Krystianer is behind in the upgrades. Also confirms a high immortal count as well. Oh my god. Speaking of, Krystianer, he throws down 5 more gates. Oh. As we do have a little bit of latency here. Hopefully everything's okay. But again, a massive gateway explosion and the force. So this looks like a 2-base all-in here from Krystianer going into a 7-gate setup. Meanwhile, we do have... Oh, hopefully SKillous is okay. There we go. Meanwhile, you see SKillous back at home. He has yet to expand as well. Again, getting up to 4 Immortals. And he's not going into Glaze, but he's going into Charge. Charge, Gateway Explosions. Oh, Jesus. Just mass gateways. SKillous, he's confirming the extra gates. He knows. He should also confirm the lack of 3rd. Yep, he doubles back, confirming no 3rd expansion. I return to serve. So both players heavy on 2 bases here. So 2 base versus 2 base. Blink versus Immortal. SKillous going to be the first to expand. Bold move. Skills does expand. I mean, he's going to be the defender anyway, as he does not have Blink. And Skillous, he shouldn't be able to push until he has the War Prism. Krystianer can't lose the Tuna Cup. I know. And it's looking dire here for Krystianer. Kind of working towards +2. Stalkers, they try to poke in. Skillous does earn away. Skillous, he does have a bit of a misread here. May even lose an Archon. Oh, Archon does pull away in time. Archon pulls away. +2 is just not kicking in. Now is the time for Skillous. This is his time. And here he comes. Okay, what do we have to work with? 4 Immortals, 3 Archons, a mass amount of Zealots. We have an almost equivalent Zealot count for Krystianer, that is true. But again, he's lacking the Immortals. Now, but the purpose of the Immortals are going to be to focus on the Archons of his opponents, the Archons of Krystianer. To focus them down, to trade against the Stalkers, of course, as well. Skillous, he does have a little bit more working for him. Meanwhile, forced to recall, actually. Okay. Oh, does move in a little bit too soon. Prismers with the main army. But again, Skillous only fighting with a portion of his forces. He's being forced back home. Nice save. Oh, nice control. Skillous, he defends his main. Oh no, the recall. There's an Archon that's trapped. No. He'll save him. Yo, Skillous, he cares about his boys. Does save the Archon. Now, because of that harass, because of harassing the main base, that means that +2 now finishes for Krystianer. The fight was going to occur with Skillous being up an upgrade, now no longer. Now it's no longer the case. So Skillous, he has missed his window, he's missed his timing, but he still has that army supply lead. Krystianer, he does try to force his way in. Zealots coming from behind. They get in top of the Archons. You have better positioning there from Skillous. Does have the better position. We speak about this all the time. You have to be so careful with your Zealots, not to clump up. But Skillous just races across the map instead. Drags the army back home. Okay, finds an expansion. Skillous is moving in. +3 is on the horizon. Oh, and at the same time, here comes that Prism. There are defensive weapons this time. Still no Blink. Blink. Skillous is pushing in. Again, he still does not want to clump over those Zealots, not against the Archons. Speaking of Krystianer, he does get across the map. It's 5 probes, 6. We're committing in. Zealots are coming in from behind, coming in for the surround. It's a little bit mistimed here from Skillous, but he's going in. Yeah, he's going in. He's getting on top of those Archons. Again, this is a heavy Archon composition, so Zealots, they pull away from the Archons. The Immortals move in, and the Immortals, it's their job to focus on those Archons. Nice kiting. Yeah, very nice kiting here from Skillous. The Archons, they're just crumbling. They're just crumbling one after the other. Again, Zealots, they get into the mineral line. Zealots, they peel off into the natural. And SKillous, he overwhelms. GG gets called. SKillous, he will take the series 3-0, becoming this week's Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. GG. Whew. Hi. GG, well played. Congratulations to Nikita, to SKillous for claiming the win, for becoming this week's champion. GG. GG, well played. SKillous does claim the series 3-0. Again, Krystianer, he definitely did have some opportunities in some of the earlier games as well, in game 1 and game 2. And I don't want to take away from Krystianer, because he did have an amazing showing, of course, in the semis. Like Krystianer, he beat Solar. He was able to take down. Solar was favored to win the entire tournament, and it was Krystianer that knocked him down. And I'm sure that SKillous is happy that Solo wasn't here. It's like, thank God. It's like, oh my, thank you Krystianer, thank you. So again, I'm sure SKillous is very, very grateful for Krystianer for bringing down Solar. But again, here in the finals, we saw a much more dominant showing out of SKillous, out of Nikita. Krystianer, he wasn't able to really showcase his full force. There was some mind games coming into play as well, referring to game 1 with SKillous faking out Krystianer, for example. And yeah, we had a really dynamic, really aggressive series here. SKillous being a little bit more reliant on building up his immortals multiple times, on building up into that big snowball push. GG. Yeah. GG, well played. With that, congratulations to SKillous. A shout out to Krystianer as well, again, for his performance here. He's a little bit sad, he's a little bit upset about losing in the finals. He's yeah, he did reply in game a little bit. He's like, I played some bad games, and again, like, he still played well here, make it to the finals, and that would, I mean, here he definitely has it in him to take it to SKillous as well. An unfortunate finals for Krystianer, but regardless, well played. GG, well played. And with that, we have crowned our champion for the week. On top of that, we also, of course, are handing out points for the monthly finals. So both Krystianer, SKillous, and even Solar alongside Young Yakov also do gain points to be invited into the end of month finals. GG, well played. They still, of course, have more weeks to go to gather more points and to get ready for that end of month finals. Otherwise, we are going to be wrapping up for this evening. Quickly heading on over here to our schedule for the week. And of course, we had Nick Ranked winning the random raffle. True, did also occur. When it comes to our weekly schedule, this was last week's schedule, so a little bit out of date. But coming into this week, our next broadcast should be tomorrow morning in around 10 hours. In around 10 hours time, we should be live with the OC Rising Star Tournament. Again, in 10 hours, we'll see some more StarCraft. The StarCraft doesn't end. Not here. It's catching him. Is this Dune 2000? Not quite. Here we go. Oh, there was a question about the armor composition earlier. I can't quite recall the context of that. Can't quite recall. But with that, GG, well played. With that, we're going to be wrapping up here for the time being. And again, our next broadcast is going to be in 10 hours. Tomorrow should be a full day of OC Rising Star. Throughout the week, we, of course, actually, there it is. There's the updated schedule. We do have two back-to-back broadcasts of OC. We have the NightMare Epic Series on Tuesday. We have the Pegasus Cup on Wednesday. We have Wardy TV Monday twice, of course, next week as well. We have the Podcast. We have Turtle Tussle. We have MSO and STC as well. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft throughout the course of the week. I believe we should also be squeezing in another broadcast of show matches. I believe Lily Cup. Yes, Lily Cup. We should also be having that throughout the course of the week as well. And hope you enjoy. Hope you look forward to it. This week is going to be a little bit leaner, which I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to a leaner week of StarCraft. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some OC Elite Rising Star. If you want to support this tournament, if you enjoyed Sparkling Tuna Cup, winding it back here. Again, our tournament is nicely timed and nicely lined up to feature players from Europe, players from Korea as well, and even sometimes some players from the Americas. But again, we do get some nice signups here. We get some nice representation. If you want to support these players and our tournament series and help us grow, Patreon. Patreon is the place to be. Exclamation mark Patreon in the chat. You get a link to our channel. You can see that we currently earn 568 USD a month via Patreon. All that money goes towards the events, and you can see our next goal at 670 to grow our events even further. So you can help us grow our tournaments via Patreon. Likewise, you can support us via following us on all the socials. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. All things CranKy Ducklings. We upload on YouTube on a daily basis, so check out our YouTube channel for daily uploads for all of our content. If you see something that you like here, quickly going back to our schedule, if you see something that you like but you can't watch it live because of when it starts, because we do have morning and evening casts, then you can check us out on YouTube. I'm sure we'll have something for you that you'll enjoy. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. See you guys next time. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you tomorrow for some more StarCraft.